Just on this list I've got. Right? Yeah, time here. It's 20 past.
10 minutes.
Manager's on this list. Yeah, so she's not sure. Well, it might be back on 11. She will be.
What message out of the group later? Very busy. Yeah, extremely. Just do. Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. Oh well. Go back. See you later. Yeah. Sunday as well for vegan.
Yeah, you're there, yeah. You are. No. Oh.
Time for a quick look at the teams before we get underway for Hampshire Hawks. Number 17, Southby. Number 18, Elise Perry. Number 6, Freya Kemp. Number 1, the Hampshire captain, Georgia Adams. Number 12, Abby Norgrove. Number 11, Naomi Datani. Number 9, Mary Taylor. Number 3, Megan Sturge. Number 61, Freya Davis.
Sammy's over there and I knew
Number 15, Daisy Good. And number 35, Rebecca Tyson.
She's got a new pair of blue jeans on. Oh, that's up there.
And for the Blaze, number 23, Marie Kelly. Number 34, Georgia Elwis. Number 17, Catherine Bryce. Number 8, Sarah Bryce. Number 77, Heather Graham. Number 33, Ella Claridge. Number 3, Sarah Gray. Number 24, the captain, Kirsty Gordon. Number 6, Cassie McCarthy. Number 1, Grace Ballinger. And number 25, Michaela Kirk.
A very good afternoon from a bright but a breezy Queen's Park here in Chesterfield.
where the County of Derbyshire is hosting the Blaze Women for today in this 9th round of the Vitality Blast. Hampshire Women are the visitors, and I'm delighted to say Kevin James from BBC Radio Solent has joined us. Good afternoon, Kevin.
Yeah, good afternoon, James. Yes, looking forward to this one. Always enjoy coming to Queen's Park. When I knew that we were teaming up, even better. And this is quite an important game for both sides here, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, just go through the table for a second before we go through the playing 11s. Surrey topped the table after 8 games, 31 points. The Bears played the extra game, 9 games. They're 3 short of Surrey with 28 points. Blaze sitting in 3rd, 25 points, so another 3-point difference there, but they can leapfrog the Bears today with a 4-point or a 5-point bonus point win, and Hampshire in 4th with 17 points, so they can certainly close the gap on Blaze should they get over the line today. Kevin, take us through, first of all, foremost, the Hampshire Women 11, please.
Right, they've made 4 changes from the side. You'll remember a couple of weeks ago was the last time this competition took place before it took a little break. The side that beat Somerset, 4 changes, as I say. Maya Boucher has been called up to the England T20 side. No Charlie Not now, she's gone back to Australia. Lindsay Smith and Lauren Bell also involved in that England series against India. So the 4 changes. A certain Elise Perry is playing her first game for Hampshire. Very much looking forward to that. She's playing throughout the month of July. He's the Australian international. Freya Davis, the seam bowler, former England player, is back into the side after missing a couple of games through injury. Megan Sturge is making her Hampshire professional debut today. Rebecca Tyson, the left-arm spinners, in. So very quickly, going through the order, Rihanna Southby will open the bat in. Elise Perry, I believe, is going to open alongside her. Then Freya Kemp. You've got Abby Norgrove, Mary Taylor, Naomi Tatani. There'll be Daisy Gibb, Perry. Oh, Perry's batting at the top. Davis, Sturge, or slotted about the middle order.
And we should say Hampshire won the toss. They've elected to bowl. We've been out on the outfield. It is lightning, isn't it? We've watched them warm up. The ball's running really quickly. So perhaps Hampshire fancy chasing a total here as the game progresses. You'll see on the feed, if you're following us on the Blaze YouTube channel, that the Blaze batters are coming out to bat now. So I'll just run through the Blaze playing 11. Just the one change since they played the Birmingham Bears before the mid-competition break. So the only change we have is Michaela Kirk comes in for Tammy Beaumont, who has, of course, been called up into the England squad. So we think they will line up like this. We know that the 2 openers will be Marie Kelly and Georgia Elwys. Catherine Bryce coming in at 3, Sarah Bryce, her sister and compatriot, at 4, Heather Graham, the overseas Australian, in at 5, Ella Claridge at 6. We think Michaela Kirk will slot in at 7, Sarah Glenn 8, Kirsty Gordon 9, Cassidy McCarthy at 10, and Grace Ballinger bringing up the rear at 11. So lots of talent on show, despite the bilateral series and the international cricket taking place at the moment and various other programmes. England A playing a series at the moment against New Zealand A, but lots of talent on show nevertheless, both international and domestic talent going head to head. And Kevin James is going to take you through the first over from the pavilion end.
It's going to be teenager Daisy Gibb with her right-arm seam bowlers bowling downhill. That's the way from the pavilion end, and she's bowling to, is that Kelly? Cuts it away, Kelly, yeah. Down through backward and point, and that's going to run away. That's going to be 4 runs. A little bit short and a little wide to start off with.
Yeah, a bit of a freebie there for Kelly, greatly received, and the Blaze are off the mark.
Certainly are, yes, and it's a bit weird still seeing Georgia Elwys in a different shirt, not Southern Vipers. 4 years she had at the Vipers until she made the move. I know why, I think we all know why she made the move here. It's more from where she's from. You know, she's a little closer to home. But big miss for the Vipers. When they played here last year against the Blaze, 50-over game, as Gibb comes in and bowls to Kelly again. Better ball, clipped away behind square on the leg side. There'll be 1, as long as the fielder picks it up, but they're going to run 2 on the throw. And it's a comfortable 2 as well. Blaze getting underway to a fast start here, 6 without loss. Hampshire chased down 278, and it was Elwes that got 100 here for the Vipers. So, well, I'm hoping she doesn't get quite so many today, I'll be honest.
Well, I'm not sure about that. She's played 8 games, 7 innings, 256 runs, averaging 51.2. I think I've said it on air a few times this season, I think she's the best accumulator of runs in the country, across both formats. She does it, she can get to 40 not out with ease without playing a shot in anger.
She's a terrific player, she really is. But it's Kelly facing, clips that away on the leg side, probably come off the pad. And just waiting for umpire to signal. What's he going to signal? Yeah, it's going to be a leg bye. 7 without loss are the Blaze, having been put into bat here. I think that's probably why, you know, as the Vipers last year, and they chased and they were successful. Maybe that's a little pointer as to why they've won the toss and elected to bowl here.
Yeah, it's quite a strong breeze blowing across the ground, and Gibb is pushing the ball into the right-handers so far as well, so a bit of shape early doors.
Comes in now, bowls, and a little bit outside off stump bounces, and they're asking for a caught behind. Not out, says the umpire, a bit of bounce there.
Yeah, some serious carry there. It almost looked like we've got a ground level position from long on from the pavilion end. And I'm just looking at a replay now. It actually did deck back in. To begin with the way the batter kind of squared herself up, I thought it had decked the other way, but it did deck in from quite wide.
First season in professional cricket for Daisy Gibb, and that's a wide. More runs for the Blaze. But that's typical of this wicket, bit of bounce. Does do that here, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's there's a bit of grass on it, it'll keep a bit of pace in it. It's also a hybrid wicket, which also will just help the ball kiss on, and should hopefully be able to hit through the line, and we have an entertaining run fest in this festival week of cricket here at Chesterfield Cricket Club.
Gibb bowls as a better delivery, has turned away into the gap on the leg side. There'll be another single. Runs off just about every ball here to start off with. Yeah, there's a lot of fixtures coming to part this last couple of weeks, wasn't it? Lancashire beating Derbyshire here in the Championship. There's a T20 game here Sunday. I think Derbyshire and Worcestershire women played here recently, didn't they?
Yeah, slightly outside the window of the festival, but
was it?
Kind of bolted on, and obviously concludes on Sunday with some more T20 cricket.
So pushed away on the offside behind square. More runs going down on the hill towards the lake here at Queen's Park, and that will be 2. Just the 2. Good over. Good first over for the Blaze here, who for me, and I know we were chatting just before we came on air, the Blaze and also Surrey and probably Warwickshire, the 3 strongest sides in this competition. I'll be surprised if anybody else gets in for that finals day at the Oval. 9 runs off the first over. No, a bit more than that, I think.
11.
11.
Yeah, 2 off that last ball make it 11. Gibb just struggling with the radar ever so slightly, pushing the ball in to the right-handers. She had the deep square and the deep fine leg riding the boundary, so with that radar it was easy to pick her off on the leg side, and then when she offered that little bit of width on the offside, the batters were able to punish it. So we're going to have Freya Davies bowling from the lake end. Obviously got some international experience. Number 61 on her back. She's right arm over the wicket, and she's on the money straight away, full and straight, as Elwes bunts that one up to mid-off for no run.
Yeah, missed a couple of games. She was telling me that in her career, and she's 29 now, played a lot of cricket over the last few years, hasn't been in England playing now for a couple of seasons or so, but these last 2 games were the first game she's ever missed because of injury.
Wow.
That's not a bad effort, is it?
She's at the top of the mark again now as she comes past the umpire. Right arm once again, slightly fuller and straighter this time, and Elwes will turn that into the leg side to that deep square leg fielder. I think that's Bex Tyson out there, but you can correct me, Kev, if I'm wrong. It's thrown in with the left arm, so...
That's Kemp.
Is it Freya?
Yeah, she does the boundary fielding. No Emily Windsor anymore, so Freya Kemp's the boundary person.
working on that ball a little bit. She shuffles in now, ponytail blowing in the wind, and she's taking this one from outside off stump and hoiked across towards very wide mid-wicket by Marie Kelly, and it's going to be bobbled over that rope for 4 runs. So intense set by Marie Kelly in this second over against Freya Davies.
Wow.
Actually good percentage cricket, really. It was full enough but wide enough for her to kind of come across it, and no fielder out there, got the elevation. That was the batter in me there, Kev. You were supposed to come back and say that was an awful agricultural shot.
Great shot.
Davies in again, wider outside off stump, and it's cut away this time. It's going to bisect cover point and extra cover. That's 4 more runs to Marie Kelly. Blaze racing onto 20 without loss after 1.4 overs, and pressure on Freya Davies in her first over.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's the most accurate start I've seen from the Hampshire opening attack, but even so, this wicket's coming on lovely. It's a fast outfield. I think we're in for a high-scoring game.
Yeah, we had a chat, didn't we, with Adam Carty off air about what par might be. I certainly think it's going to be a 175 plus score. That's going to, I don't think you'll be comfortable at what, even 180 with the amount of talent on show. So Davies, ball back in hand, and she's knocked over Marie Kelly. 1 shot too many. Looked like that one decked back, and it's absolutely rearranged the leg stump out the ground. So the breakthrough comes for the Hampshire women. The Blaze 20 for 1.
Yeah, just watching this again. It's just a straight ball. She's trying to just hoik that over mid-on, maybe even wide of mid-on. She's slightly coming across that, not completely out of the ground. And I think Kelly lulled into a false sense of security with the previous shot. The previous shot was a seriously good shot. I think the ball there was just a little bit back of a length.
Number 17, Catherine Bryce.
Yeah, it decked back, didn't it? I said leg stump, didn't I? The way the direction, the way the stump went in, it looked like it was the leg stump, but on the second view there and on your pictures you can see it was actually the right stump. Yeah, a bit lazy from Marie Kelly there, didn't really kind of align herself with the ball. It was all hands, wasn't it, chopping across the ball, so she'll be disappointed with that. Nothing looked good from those 2 convincing shots in the 2 balls prior. So Catherine Bryce is out to the middle pretty early. Had a very good start to this season. She's the leading run scorer, second leading run scorer, should I say, for the Blaze, with 232 runs from her 8 games. As she faces up now, and it's banged in from Davies. It's going to be pulled round the corner. There's a hand on it from Shaw, fine leg, which will hold the ball up as Freya Kemp comes round from deep square leg to cut it off. So Catherine Bryce opens her account with 2 runs there, as that concludes the second over, the first from Freya Davies, and the Blaze are 22 for 1.
11 off each over.
Keep consistency.
Nice and symmetrical, yeah, keep it nice. I'd hope I'm not saying that about overs number 18 and 19, where it's another 11 off the over. But I think this is a fast-scoring ground. We know that. And the outfield's parched. It's bone dry.
Well, I returned a ball before that came over, and I just literally underarmed it like a crown green ball, and it just kept running and running and running. So imagine actually hitting the ball. It's going to run to the boundary very quickly, like we've seen with the few shots we've seen so far. So we're going to have a change of bowling from the pavilion end.
Bex Tyson, yeah, she's back in the side. No Lindsay Smith, because she's been playing against India. Bex Tyson has missed the last couple bowls, and it's coming down the wicket. Could be caught at mid-on, and she's gone. Oh, and that is Georgia Elwes.
It is indeed.
She's gone for the shot over the top. She didn't get hold of it, and that has been taken by Freya Davies at mid-on, safe as you like. And the Blaze, having started very, very quickly in the first over and a half or so, have just been pegged back.
Yeah, just lost her shape there, Elwes, as she came down the track to that ball. Bottom hand came through and looked like it got the inside half of the bat, clothed it a little bit.
The next batter is number 8, Sarah Bryce.
Well, she, as we know, is a very, very dangerous player. In some ways, that's a bit un-Georgia Elwes-like early on.
Yeah, it is indeed. I said it, you know, she plays accumulates without playing shots in anger, drops the ball into cover point, turns one round the corner, turns singles into twos, and then puts the bad ball away on top of that. But it was almost too proactive from Elwes there, and she's actually walking past us as she departs, so we've got to keep our voices down. But Catherine Bryce has been joined by her sister Sarah Bryce at the wicket.
Yeah, these two are also a dangerous duo. I watched these two bat very well together in last year's Charlotte Edwards Cup final when they beat the South East Stars at Derby. They both scored a half century, one of them unbeaten, and it was a clinical run chase with these two. It really was. So here's Tyson. So Sarah Bryce, isn't it, that's pushing forward. It's off the mark straight away into the covers. Georgia Adams comes around, fields. And the Blaze move on to 23 for 2 at a very breezy Queen's Park here at Chesterfield. It's getting more breezy, actually, as the day goes on. It was lovely and sunny here when we arrived, early. And slowly over the last few hours, the cloud has come over and it's got much, much windier. Catherine Bryce just plays that back to Bex Tyson. This is a little tighter, this over from Hampshire, who sit one place behind the Blaze in the table as we go well into the second half of this group phase, as that's driven up to mid-off, fielded by Daisy Gibb. Hampshire played 8-1-4. The Blaze played 8-1-5, but they've had a tie. They've had an abandoned game. Abandoned game, what, this summer? That's a nice sweep shot from Catherine Bryce, and that's going for 4. That is racing away. Look at that ball, racing away over the seats away to our right. Takes the total on to 27 for 2 in the third over.
Yeah, just shuffled across the crease there, got herself outside off stump and targeted that big pocket down to deep backward square leg.
You do feel the ball's got to actually go to the fielders in the deep, otherwise it's going to run away too quickly for 4. Flighted again, driven in the air, couple of bounces up to mid-off, good fielding from Daisy Gibb, but a single to Catherine Bryce, and that is the end of the third over. Well, it wasn't quite 11 off that over, but there was 6, 28 for 2.
That was actually a really good piece of fielding that at mid-on off, and I'll tell you why. I watched everyone warming up, and because of how hard the ground is, it amplifies any slight bobble in the outfield, so that was a really good piece of fielding, picking it up and cleanly, and the roll as well that went with it, because you could see that being a misfield and going for 4.
Yeah, did very well. Yes, this is when you're on a run chase here, you really do have to put fielders under pressure here. If it's a tight game, you really, as a batter, you don't accept that the fielder's just going to pick it up on, cleanly and throw it in. You really, if you put them under pressure, there's going to be a few bobbles.
So we've only had to wait 3 overs to see Elise Perry. She is going to bowl from the lake end. She's on her way now. Past the umpire, right arm over the wicket, bangs this one in, and she's nicked Catherine Bryce off with her first ball for the Hampshire women. Great catch behind the wicket by the wicket-keeper, Rihanna Southby. The Blaze have fallen to 28 for 3.
Catherine Bryce out for 7.
What an impact, Kevin James.
First ball in Hampshire colours, Elise Perry. Wow. Well, we were all very excited when it was announced that she was going to be joining Hampshire, albeit for just the month of July. She had a big press conference yesterday down at the Utility Bowl, which I didn't make, unfortunately, but it just added to the excitement. And well, that's why she's such a star, because things like that happen to star players.
It does indeed. It's quite a thick edge, actually, off the bat of Catherine Bryce, and some very tidy footwork and subsequent glove work from Rihanna Southby. The ball just held its line. Bryce looked to keep a little bit leg side of the ball there, and, well, she has to go.
There's just a bit of bounce. That's the bounce in the wicket there as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that hybrid, that bit of hybrid thread in it, obviously, just lets the ball carry, which is great for batting, but it offers a little bit more for the bowlers as well with that extra carry and bounce. So Aussie Heather Graham will face up to her Australian counterpart. She's full and straight here is Elise Perry, and is driven up the ground, and she fields off her own bowling for no run.
Yeah, she's around for 6 T20s, which will be the final 6 T20s, including this one for Hampshire, and she's also around for a couple of 50-over games before that takes a break for the 100 next month. 155 one-day internationals and 168 T20 internationals.
It's not a bad record, is it?
That's pretty decent.
And football caps to add to that for Australia as well, for the Gillaroos. She's in now, right arm over the wicket. This one might be a wide. It is signalled a wide as Heather Graham shoulders arms and looks at the umpire and says, are you going to take your hands out your pockets there? And eventually she does. Heather Graham just played the 4 matches. It's 58 runs, averaging 29 though. That average is bumped up because of the 34 not out as her highest score, and she strikes at 134 so far this year, so pretty handsome strike rate as Perry's in once again. A bit straighter on the pads of Graham this time, turning to leg side, and loud shout of no from Graham there as mid-wicket fields and cuts off the single. So another dot from the bowling of Perry.
Yeah, I mean, apart from the sort of the hype of her arriving as well, of course, you know, Hampshire handicap because no Ella McCacken, competition's top run scorer, still injured, which is unfortunate, and no Maya Boucher. Both of them at the top of the order have been absolutely fabulous, both in the 50-over and the T20.
Perry once again, bit full, in fact very full this time, low full toss, greatly received by Heather Graham, stroke through the covers. 4 more runs to the Blaze total. Blaze are now 33 for 3. We're back on the 11s there.
Yes, but Marie Kelly has already gone for 16, Georgia Ellis for 2, and Catherine Bryce for 7. 3 big wickets have gone already for the Blaze, who suffered their first defeat in their last match against Warwickshire. 25 runs at Edgbaston.
Perry once again with that very familiar skip as she's in now, and turn round the corner this time to short fine leg, and it'll be cut off. There'll be no run, so another valuable dot in this power play from the Hampshire bowlers. That's Bex Tyson, isn't it? Short fine leg.
Yeah, that's her position.
Yeah,
she's usually around there. You would always find Freya Kemp on a boundary somewhere. She's out on the leg side currently, but it's not uncommon for her to run from one side to the other.
Get steps in, Kev.
Yeah.
I did that a short while ago. Went for a little stroll around the park. Yeah.
Count your steps?
Took that in. Took the little train in. Just on point there, the choo-choo, actually.
I reckon you jumped on that. You're saying you did some steps. I reckon the train came past and you just jumped on it.
It calculates it as K's, kilometres to me. It all counts, Kev. All counts. So Elise Perry, just been a bit of a conflab about the field, and we've got a deep cover out there now as Perry's in for the last ball of her over. She's full and straight, driven up to mid-on, and again fielded off her own bowling. So there'll be no run. Another really precious dot in this first batting power play. So that's the end of the 4th. Blaze 33 for 3.
Hampshire winning the toss, selecting to bowl first here. It's nice that the Blaze aren't just playing all their matches in and around Nottinghamshire or Nottingham, still spreading themselves far and wide east of England.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a spokesperson for the Blaze, but they're the one team that's kind of kept that regional branding, aren't they? And they have taken the game to Leicester and to Derby, and now, you know, being part of the festival here at Chesterfield. We're off to Lindum for the 50 overs at the end of the month as well in Lincolnshire.
Do you think that's one reason why they kept the Blaze? Because it doesn't tie them to Nottinghamshire. Like everywhere, everybody went county. Daisy Gibbs back into the attack, bowling to Sarah Bryce, who tucks it away to mid-wicket. Fielded by Elise Perry. Takes the total on to 34 for 3.
I can only surmise, Kev, but I think, you know, the investment in the branding, the close nature of 3, 4, you know, big cricket counties, but in terms of size, you can kind of fall out of one of those leading county towns into the other quite quickly, can't you, with the motorway network? So perhaps keeping the regionality, especially in the pathway and that collaborative thinking, is perhaps one of the strategies and tactics behind it.
Yeah. Heather Graham to face the next delivery from Daisy Gibb, runs away from us and bowls. It's a length ball. Graham pushes that out towards extra cover where Georgia Adams fields. I think it's quite nice. I mean, you know, the fact the Blaze are here, it's a good ground, it's ideal, isn't it, I think, for women's cricket. There's a good crowd. I mean, this is a public park, it has to be said, so people can wander around the outskirts. I mean, there is some fencing up, but it's easy to get in. It's a bowl. And up this end anyway, especially around the pavilion end, there's a good few people.
Yeah, it's
nice.
They've trickled in. The park was busy earlier on down by the lake as well, where the sunshine was out.
Cafe was busy when I was in there. Short ball pulled away down towards fine leg. My word, that has gone very, very quickly, and that's a good piece of fielding right down at the far end. I don't know if that's Mary, it's not Mary Taylor down there, but that's a good bit of fielding anyway, because that was bobbing horribly on this hard outfield. 2 runs to Bryce. Sarah Bryce takes one to 36.
I think that was Heather Graham, you know.
Oh, was it Heather Graham? Sorry,
Yeah.
tell her line, yes. Comes in again, does Daisy Gibb, and that's down the leg side, and that will be a wide. Daisy Gibb hasn't quite got it in. That's a natural ball. The unit spotted it very early on. A ball that comes into the right-hander. She has been working quite hard on the ball that slides away to the right-handers. We have seen that at times this season, but at the moment, and with the breeze, quite a stiff breeze at times going left to right as she's bowling, obviously finding it easy to let the ball drift in the wind. Comes in again and bowls. That's up in the air, and it's just past Bex Tyson's thrown out right hand. It's running away down towards the boundary, towards the ice cream van, and that's going for 4 runs. On another day, Bex Tyson might just have found that ball sticking in those fingers, but it's run away and it's another boundary.
Yeah, it was a peculiar shot from Heather Graham. She seemed to get her feet tangled as she advanced down the wicket and then had to throw her hands at it, as did Bex Tyson, throwing her right hand, not a stronger hand, but if that had stuck, not many teams kind of get out of the power play 4 down.
They're scoring quickly, but they have lost 3, and there's some rain. I can feel some rain as Bex Tyson fields this one at backward of point, and the Hampshire contingent that are sitting on the boundary rope just to our right are starting to get up to move. I don't know if this rain's going to be around very long, but there was definitely a very... Well, it wasn't prolonged, but there was noticeable some rain, and there is some spots in the air.
Yeah, just blown in, wasn't it? Part of that windy gust we had.
Still there. There's a lot of trees. There's a very tree-lined ground here, so you can see the rain against them, and I wouldn't be surprised if the players come off soon. In fact, you can see there that Heather Graham has just pulled away there, and this kit's getting a little bit wet, actually. If it's a new high. I can't believe they're going to stay out here, because it's windy as well as rainy. Hits Gibb into Graham. It turns that up to mid-on. Going to take a quick single, and Freya Davis will throw at the bowler's end. And that's a single to end the over. So we've got 42 for 3. The run rate's not being affected, but the Blaze have lost 3 early wickets.
Yeah, pivotal moment in that over there. Bex Tyson not able to grasp that catch at short third, and the ball went for 4 as well. It's stacked against a lot of teams. Losing 3 in the power play, 4 would have made it very, very interesting for the Blaze, but they do bat quite deep. They bat very deep, in fact.
Change bowler at the lake end, number 61, Freya Davis.
We've got a change of bowling again at the lake end. Freya Davies is going to come back into the attack, so changing it up, Hampshire every over so far, not letting the Blaze batters settle. Davies on her way now, right arm over the wicket. This one's driven up to mid-off for no run, hit very firmly that one by the Australian Heather Graham. Kevin James just getting his tea towels out, typical bowler. Tea towels in his kit bag, but they're not to dry the ball today, just to look after his equipment. Davies once again Right arm over the wicket, fuller and wider this time, and it's hoiked across the line into the leg side by Graham. They're going to come back for 2 as it's cut off by Freya Kemp, who has to come round about 15 yards from her deep square leg position.
It's rather annoying, this rain, isn't it? Where's this come from?
There was a bit of, a small percentage of it in the forecast, but I think it's just blown over, hasn't it? It's a bit darker, the clouds have come over a bit duller than it was an hour ago. As Davies is in, and this one's run to short third for no run.
I don't think it's around for long, is it? I mean, if the breeze is left to right as we look, if we look away to our left, I think it looks a bit brighter, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Interestingly, I took a picture of the playing surface before the game, and I sent it to a friend and said, "Would you bat or bowl?" I'll come back to that in a minute. As Davies is in again, once again, right arm over the wicket, turned into the leg side. He'll just be the single this time, as Kemp does the fielding once again. She's in a hot zone there, isn't she, at deep square leg?
And Ben Stokes said?
No, yeah. No, well, Ben Stokes is a bit busy at the moment playing a test match. But yes, Mr. Robinson texted me and said he would bat second because of the weather that's forecast, actually, taking into account DLS. Well, I hope we get the full 40 overs in and it's an absolute ripper, personally, as Davies in once again. This one's skewed off the outside half of the bat from Sarah Bryce, and it's going to run through backward point for 4 runs. How quick did that run away to the boundary? Just uphill as well.
You're getting full value for shots as long as you find the gap. Absolute full value.
Yeah, just split short third, didn't it, and point, and went to that kind of backward point wide third region. But low risk from Bryce. Played with the vertical bat. She faces up again. Davies is in. Oh, that's kept low. It's hit on the pads and it's been given. So, again, after a boundary ball, another wicket lost by the Blaze. And Sarah Bryce has to depart for 6. Blaze 49 for 3 now. That one decked back from Freya Davies. Just looking at the replay. Bryce stuck on the crease. And the umpire didn't really hesitate at giving that one out, did it? It looked very adjacent on the replay.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? We've seen 1 or 2 balls bounce. We've seen that one keep a little low, but also zip back as well. I have to say, I don't think that you can't be too disappointed with that as a batter. I mean, that's pretty plumb. Just watching it again, and yeah, that's nipped back. That's hitting about middle and leg, maybe your leg stump, but there's just no bounce there.
No, which is peculiar, isn't it? It was well below the knee roll. And from that length, we've seen balls go through at bail height, even hip height. So the Blaze startled here at 49 for 4 after 6. So that's the end of the first power play. Of course, only 2 allowed out in that first power play. So we'll see the field spread a little bit now.
Bowler at the pavilion, number 35, Rebecca Tyson.
Rebecca Tyson back into the attack. Her first over went for just 6. She also claimed the wicket of Georgia Elwes, who tried to hit her over the top and mistimed it and was caught at mid-on. She's now got a deep mid-on. That's Elise Perry, just to our right here. She's in and bowls, and that's a slog sweep out on the leg side. Is he going to reach Freya Kemp? Put it down. Freya Kemp come running in. Looked like she got there, and it bounced in the hands and bounced out again.
That's 50 up for the Blaze.
50 up. Probably heard that around the ground, but it's come at some cost with 4 wickets in that power play. Heather Graham a little lucky there.
Yeah, bizarre tact as well, with 2 fielders stationed out on the leg side boundary as the rain starts to come down even heavier now.
It is, it's turned away on the leg side by Ella Claridge, the new batter for the Blaze. USA international. Ella Claridge?
Yes, she's qualified. I don't know how she's qualified. I think it's a parental route. Well, yeah, she's played for the US.
51 for 4. As Tyson bowls a little quicker and it's down the leg side. Good take from Southby, but it's called a wide. Heather Graham is 15 not out there. A lot rests on her shoulders now, an Australian. They're playing through the rain here. Probably glad for a bit of rain, actually, when you think about the weather over the last couple of weeks. Probably saying, no, we love the rain. That's played off the back foot, as Tyson can't quite get there on her follow-through, moving to her left. And the Blaze move on to 52 for 4. Everybody seems to be loving it. Look at Paul Pritchard there, Hampshire women's head coach. He's loving it. He's laughing in the rain. They're all saying, look, it's raining. Lovely. Tyson in again, and that's just turned away by Claridge behind square on the leg side. I'm getting a little bit wet, I must admit, even though we're under a marquee, but it's got no sides.
It's heavier as well, isn't it? It's proper rain now, whereas before it was that fine stuff that got you wet through.
Yeah. But the players are playing through it, but for how long? The umpires are probably looking to our left saying, oh, it won't be long. The rain won't be here that long. Tyson in again to, is that Graham? It is, yeah, turning away on the leg side. Freya Kemp will field once more, but it's all along the ground. So Hampshire's England left-hander. 55 for 4 here at a suddenly wet Queen's Park. But everybody, it's like it's not raining. Nobody seems to care now. In fact, most of the Hampshire contingent are back outside, sitting on their seats. That's played by Claridge out on the offside. End of Bex Tyson's second over. And the Blaze having been put in the bat. 55 for 4 at the end of the 7th over.
Yeah, tidy over there from Bex Tyson. Another catch going down, which is quite remarkable considering the score is 55 for 4, that there was 2 other chances, both off Graham. I mean, Kemp made up a lot of ground, didn't she, to even get near it. But that would have been some serious trouble at 50 for 5 for the Blaze, but they're 55 for 4 nevertheless. Another change of bowl in here. Who have we got?
Elise Perry back, isn't it?
Yeah, Elise Perry's coming back, 18 on her back.
Wicket with her first ball. You can't write the script for some of these players, can you? First ball in Hampshire colours, she takes a wicket.
Well, Heather Graham is going to face up to the first ball of her second over. A couple of taps of the bat. Bat aloft now as Perry's in, over the wicket. Oh, well, that was a very different first ball to that over, as it's very, very wide. Almost missed the cut strip from Elise Perry.
Yeah,
if you're in the bowler's union, it swung a bit, didn't it?
Oh, of course, yeah. Or maybe she's saying, well, the ball's wet now, slipping. Yeah, very different ball from the ball that she bowled.
He did swing a bit, to be fair, Kev, looking at the pictures.
Great take, Southby.
So Elise Perry, take 2, as she's in to start her second over, and full and straight this time, slightly on the pads of Heather Graham, who turns it into leg side for a single, cut off by deep mid wicket.
Well, happily the rain seems to have eased. If there is, there's only literally the odd spot here and there. I think we might be all right.
It's just brightened up, hasn't it? That bright patch you mentioned over to our left is kind of coming across overhead now, so hopefully we're through the worst of it. Deep mid-wicket has come into the circle now. As Perry's in, Claridge facing up for the first time to Elise Perry. She pulls this one into the leg side. It'll be cut off by Naomi Datani at deep square leg. Where's Freya Kemp gone then?
Oh yes, she's moved. Oh, this is going out to deep mid-wicket.
Deep mid-wicket, yeah. So 2 left-handed throwers on the leg side. She's gone back out to deep mid-wicket now for Heather Graham, who's back on strike. We've got a third and a deep extra cover as well. This one's driven on the up through extra cover. A dive by Georgia Adams, but she can't stop it. 4 runs to Heather Graham there. Beautiful stroke on the up.
Wasn't even Mr. Fletcher enjoyed that. And we saw him play some lovely cover drives in his time.
It wasn't all that It wasn't a long half volley, was it? It was just a little bit of width, hit on the top of the bounce. As Perry's in again, much fuller and straighter this time, and Graham will push that one up to a long on for one more run. Play's moving on to 63 for 4 now. Claridge comes back on strike. She's 3 not out from her 4 deliveries so far. Mid-wicket's going to stay out now for Claridge, so on the leg side, it's just mid on in the circle. Perry's in, and she's shot that one into her own leg guard there, and there'll be no run and no alarm in the end. So I just think, getting to your psyche for a second, Kev, just mid on in the circle on the leg side, is Perry trying to get Claridge to fall over that front pad, or play into the leg side for an easy single and bring the stumps and LBW into play?
I think you've got to bowl straight on here with the pace in the wicket. You've got to bowl wicket to wicket.
Perry's in now and driven on the up again. Just a check drive, and Georgia Adams does the fielding this time, does well with a little low bounce. So that's the end of Elise Perry's second over, and the Blaze are 63 for 4.
And we saw Marie Kelly just taking too much of a liberty, having hit a lovely shot high on the leg side early on. She's tried to do the same again. Straight delivery from Freya Davis. She's lost her wicket. Catherine Bryce, well, that was a wide one, wasn't it, to Elise Perry? But Sarah Bryce, LBW, straight delivery from Freya Davis that nipped back. There's obviously a little bit out there. We've seen the wicket be a little bit up and down as well. If that's the case, you have to bowl wicket to wicket.
Yeah, certainly reduces increases the strike rates, doesn't it? It reduces boundary percentages. That's going to be the killer on this ground, I think.
Well, also with T20 cricket, players are looking to play very, very expansively. So if you bowl as straight as you can and as often as you can, the fact that the wicket is a little bit up and down and the batters are playing slightly across the line most of the time. New bowler is Georgia Adams. That's worked on the leg side by Graham, out to Freya Kemp, away to our right. You're playing a percentage game as a bowler. You're not giving yourself much chance if you're bowling wide of off stump, or a little too short, or even too full. Just short, you just bowl short. You just bowl line and length here straight. And if the batters want to hit across the line, let them do it. Adams bowls, and that's pushed away by Claridge, and he's running down the hill. Mary Taylor will pick it up before he gets to the boundary. In fact, they'll only pick up one there. Claridge moves on to 4, 65 for 4 in the 9th over. I think we saw a little bit of that, here last year in the 50 over game. It was a little bit up and down, but the batters were still able to score runs because it came onto the bat nicely, and that's what we're seeing here. So you're still going to concede runs, but you're going to give yourself a chance by bowling straight. That's hit hard by Graham up towards mid-on. Elise Perry, the fielder there.
It puts that thing in the batters' minds now as well, though, doesn't it? That the 66 for 4, there's 12 overs to go. You don't want to be that person that plays a silly shot with a long way to go.
That's right. Lost a lot of wickets. It's a drive past the diving Georgia Adams, though she took some of the pace off the shot. Claridge will pick up a single and moves on to 5, 67 for 4, but it's a lot to come back from, isn't it? Yeah. Kelly, Elwes, Bryce and Bryce all out in the first 6 overs. That's a big chunk of the order gone early on. Gives a lot for the others to do. Heather Graham's played a lovely shot through the covers, and that's a difficult one to try and stop for Freya Davis, and that's going for 4. Seemed to surprise Davis, that one. Powerful player, Heather Graham. And that takes the total on to 71 for 4. Graham moves on to 29. Elise Perry seems to have a lot to say to the Hampshire contingent sitting on the boundary there. So worked away on the onside. Probably 2 here. Freya Kemp picks the ball up. No, does well. Keeps it down to a single. Gets applause from the Hampshire coaching staff there. sitting on those silver seats by the road. 72 for 4, we've had 9.
From the Chesterfield Cricket Club.
Yeah, so the run rate pretty healthy for the Blaze. But that wicket column is a little bit higher than what they'd have expected at this stage. One thing of note, though, Ella Claridge, who's joined Heather Graham at the wicket, is very promising young batter. Michaela Kirk, who comes in today, has got 500s this year in second team cricket.
Wow.
And of course the England internationals Sarah Glenn and Kirsty Gordon are no mugs with the bat either and have been known to wield the willow and get some lower order runs, so it's by no means a done deal yet. 11 overs to go. Another change in the bowling. Looks like Mary Taylor to me. She's coming in now. Robust action, and that one's driven on the up over extra cover very airily. It's going to bounce once and then straight into those empty seats over there. So intent shown by Heather Graham there against the new bowler Mary Taylor.
That's a seriously good shot. Talk about being put under pressure, the first ball you bowled. That's a great shot over extra cover.
Yeah, it was indeed. It wasn't a bad ball, was it? You know, Mary Taylor's hit a length there, maybe a foot too full perhaps, but certainly not the type of ball you expected to go for a one bounce 4 over extra cover. So we've got a slight pause in play now because I can see 2 yellow shirts way behind the seats that have been spread across the ground for this festival week here at Chesterfield. So they're currently in the trees trying to find that ball. Umpires have asked for the briefcase with the spare balls. So it looks like we're going to get a spare ball now. Got drinks runners on with this break in play. Batters having a swig.
She didn't have a particularly good big bash with the Hobart Hurricanes, Heather Graham. She had 10 innings, only scored just over 100 runs. The form she's showing at the moment. Oh.
Yeah, it's been fits and starts in this campaign, just purely because of the chopping and changing of the Blaze side, with England players coming in. When you've got Tammy Beaumont on your side and Nat Siver-Brunt on your side, it very much changes the balance of your side, doesn't it? Sarah Bryce, who we saw coming in at 4, she batted at 8 in one of the games. And
wow.
She's a top order batter, isn't she? So England players coming into your team certainly strengthen it, but it can just change the balance of your side, and means sometimes players have to play slightly out of position.
Oh, that's the shot of the game so far for me, that one. Over extra cover. That's not an easy shot to play. You need the ball to be in exactly the right areas. Of course, you need to pick it up early enough as well to be able to play that shot. She did everything right. And that ball's gone a long way. I don't think the 2 Hampshire players down there have found the ball at all. I'd give it up. Just let it be. It's probably in the lake.
There's a couple of stewards down there now looking for it as well with the high-vis vests on, but fair play to them. They kept looking for it regardless. So we've got 11 on the pitch now. As the last fielder runs on back into position at cover. So Mary Taylor will bowl her second ball of her spell, driven up to mid-off for no run this time.
It's still a good scoring rate, isn't it? It's just the fact they've lost 4 wickets is a problem, but I mean, normally you'd be happy with 78 off 9 and a bit overs, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. I don't think there's any need to panic. You put the bad ball away, it runs away. Some good balls we've just seen have gone for 4. As Taylor's in once again, looks like she bowls a bit of a cutter this time, and Heather Graham has to dig that one out, and Taylor fields off her own bowling.
Yeah, one thing Mary Taylor's been working on is a slower ball. She's been working on that all winter. Mixing the paces up. You need that in T20 cricket. Can't just bowl the same ball now.
She's on her way once again. Right arm over the wicket, slightly wide, and she's been forced the edge there. It's going to run away for 4. 2 Hampshire fielders chasing, but it's in vain as it hits the advertising hoardings. So a bit of guile there from Mary Taylor, but it's cost her 4 runs through no fault of her own, inducing the edge.
And again, that shows how fast this outfield is. That's up the hill. It's a slower ball, and it's still beating the fielders to the rope. Incredibly fast outfield.
So the Blaze move on to 82 for 4. Heather Graham 40 not out. She faces up once again to the right arm bowling of Mary Taylor. Another floaty one. Bit of a cutter, driven up to a very straight extra cover.
I mean, this is not my game. It's the Blaze game.
So one more to Heather Graham. She moves on to 41 not out. Brings on strike Ella Claridge, who's 5 from her 8 deliveries so far. Mary Taylor, top of her mark now, shuffling in, right arm over the wicket, bangs this one in. Play and miss from Ella Claridge as Rihanna Southby takes that one clean and tidy up to the stumps. So that's the end of an eventful over from Mary Taylor. 11 from it. We had a pause in play for a lost ball. So halfway through this Blaze batting innings at 83 for 4. I suppose if they doubled it from here, Kev, they're possibly a little bit short given how quick this outfield's running.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think expect a higher total than you would normally, I think. But you've got to remember that Hampshire without Maya Boucher, they're without Charlie Knott, they're without Ella McCacken. That's a large part of a batting lineup that has actually done very well this season for them. All of those 3 I've just mentioned have all picked up big runs in both competitions, so they're severely handicapped. Maybe Elise Perry might just help us. That's a hit out towards deep mid-off where Nairby Datani feels. Didn't quite pick it up cleanly. There's the example of the bobbly outfield. And they'll come back for 2. Heather Graham is going well here. She's on 43 as the sun comes out now. Getting a mixture of weathers here. The good news is it's warm, that's the main thing. But only a few minutes ago we had rain, and now here we are with lovely sun as that's turned away by Graham out on the onside.
Yeah, I said 175 earlier. I think 200 is par here.
Well,
I really do. Now I've seen 10 overs. I know we've seen the ball go through. We've seen it cut and seam and swing. But I just think 200, and you're not safe there either.
Oh, Heather Graham's certainly going along nicely. Ella Claridge is taking a little while longer to get going. She sweeps. It's down the leg side. That'll be a wide, or is it? No, maybe it's grazed the pad. Rihanna Southby behind the stumps has done well there. That's not an easy take for the keeper.
I think Claridge has just got to temper her own game here, just play with the vertical bat and drop it into little pockets and run and get a mate on strike.
Well, she's got hold of that sweep shot. Gone down to Megan Sturge, who's making a Hampshire professional debut today. Megan Sturge does nicely away on the deep square leg boundary. Gets a toot from the train for her effort. Perhaps the train driver enjoyed a bit of fielding.
That's her go-to, Ella Claridge. She likes to get down on one knee and get the sweep out. It has been a downfall at times, but she certainly likes to get down on one knee and sweep hard.
Tyson with a quicker delivery there, and Graham works that out on the onside. Kemp comes in off the boundary, and the total moves on to 88 for 4 as the sun comes out a little stronger. We are getting a mix of weathers here. Who's that on the right there? Is that the ground staff, all dressed in that lovely blue, on walking around to us? I think they've got about 6 or 7 ground staff people here.
Yeah, they're all wearing Derbyshire attire, or Chesterfield attire.
There's a lovely sweep shot this time from Claridge. Well, once again from Claridge, you're right, she does favour that shot. Out to Megan Sturge. Good throw from deep on the boundary through to Rihanna Southby. End of the over, 11 gone. 89 for 4, and Heather Graham, the dangerous Heather Graham's on 45 not out.
Yeah, and she's played some, really good full-blooded shots, hasn't she? But you wouldn't say that she's been reckless or over-aggressive, but she seems to have accumulated 45 from 32 at a serious lick without going, oh, she's teed off, So shows how much value is in your shots here at Chesterfield. There's a real glare now. It's got really bright.
It's going on. This is more like what it was when we arrived. There's the men in blue walking around, watching the live picture feed. So disappeared behind the tent behind us.
The change from the lake end, so we're going to see Freya Davies bowl again. She's full on the pads of Ella Claridge, who bunts this to a straight mid-wicket. She's jumped over by the fielder in vain, but it'll just be the single, cut off by a long on. Have we seen a bowler bowl 2 overs on the bounce yet?
I don't think we have. No. Very, very observant. Mind you, in your former role of Director of Cricket of the Northern Diamonds, I would have expected you to have seen things like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Keeping us on our toes today, though, because it's a long way away there for me to work out who the bowlers are, so reliant on the ground announcer a little bit. But I'm all too familiar with Freya Davies' shuffle as she comes in this time, bangs this one down. It'll be pulled well in front of deep mid-wicket, and it'll be 4 more runs as it clatters into the ice cream van there.
Well, I tell you what, she's missed very little, Heather Graham. Whenever the ball's been there to hit, she's been striking the ball very well here.
It's not the pitch for that either, to bang it in at that length from Freya Davies. She needs to get that ball much higher and ask the batters to hit high up the ground off a difficult length, but she's got a chance to correct it now. But that's a full toss, and it's going to be worked into that mid-wicket area again for a single, and that applause is because Heather Graham's gone to 50. And if you didn't pick it up from the ground announcer off our effects mic, it was 50 in 34 balls. Very, very well compiled innings from an experienced cricketer there. 6 4s and 1 6, just the 10 dot balls. Claridge back on strike then to Davies, who is on the pads again. He'll be turned round the corner. Naomi Datani will do the fielding at fine leg. Rocket arm into the gloves of Rihanna Southby there, so it'll just be the single.
Yeah, comfortably her top scorer of the tournament. Was it 34 before?
34 before this, yeah. Like I say, she had fits and starts just because the batting position she was in due to the chopping and changing of the side, as Davies is in this time looking to bowl a variation, but that's very wide on the offside, and it'll be signalled wide by the umpire Amy Clark. So another run and another ball to be bowled takes the Blaze onto 97 for 4 now, approaching those 3 figures. It's a good rebuild from this pair. Davies in on the pads and straight as a die, driven over the head of the bowler and the umpire. Low full toss.
That's a 50 partnership for
that takes the Blaze past 100, 101 for 4, and it takes this pair past their 50 partnership. So the rebuild is on for the Blaze. Thinking cap time, I think, for the skipper and the bowlers. Kev?
Well, it's a great partnership as well. It's much needed after those 4 early wickets, 49 for 4 when Sarah Bryce was out. But these two have not only they've kept the innings going, haven't they? They're scoring at a fair rate.
Davies in once again. Hits a length this time. It's a bit of a missed time shot. We'll go through mid-on and they'll sneak another single. So that's the end of the 12th. 102 for 4. 8 to go. This partnership worth 53 now.
Yeah, they put the Hampshire bowlers under pressure. Absolutely no doubt about that. Daisy Gibbs' first 2 overs went for 19. Rebecca Tyson, 3 overs, 1 for 18, bowled really well. Elise Perry, 2 overs, 1 for 13, picked up a wicket with her very first ball in Hampshire colours. Georgia Adams back on. Her first over went for 9. Mary Taylor's 1 over and went for 11. Freya Davies has bowled 3 overs now, about 2 for 31. So she's going to be bowling to Heather Graham, 55 not out of 102. As Adams comes in again. I wouldn't rule out some more rain here, actually. So it's driven hard out towards deep mid. Oh, no, my word, it's gone between Elise Perry and Freya Kemp, and I've just detected that the fact that both of them may just have stopped there a fraction, thinking one was going and maybe the other one was going, but neither did. I probably would have gone between them anyway, but they just backed off just momentarily, both of them there. Lack of communication.
Yeah, Perry certainly pulled out. I thought she was going to pull the dive out for a second, being right-handed and going to a right. And then it looked like Kemp was going to do the same with the mirror image on the left-hand side. And in the end, it goes between the pair of them.
Graham's striking the ball so well here. I mean, that's a big outfield away to our right. I know the outfield's fast, and I know it's bobbly and what have you, but she's still striking this ball very well. She cuts it away, doesn't strike that one quite so well. One bounce to Mary Taylor at back of the point. I think she stepped a little bit too far away from that. Body weight was just moving away too far from the ball.
But when she got dropped, she was forcing it, and since she's gone, almost just playing the ball on merit.
Yeah. She's hit that over extra cover as well. Clearly a favourite shot of hers. Just bounces away. But Tatani will get there running around from deep mid-off. Graham will pick up 2, moves on to 61. You're right. When she's just had the bat throwing through the ball nicely and has a good shape on it, she is striking the ball so well. 108 for 4 in the 13th here at Queen's Park in Chesterfield. Adams bowls again. Graham strikes that hard and on the ground. Elise Perry will pick that one up. And Graham moves on to 62. Graham and Elise Perry will know each other very well, of course. There's the old choo-choo. I keep saying choo-choo. I shouldn't say that. I'm thinking I'm talking to my grandson. Just say train, Kev. Try and be mature for once. Here's Adams. Bowls, Claridge drives. That's going up towards the Tatani. That's the long barrier positioning. That's a good position on this outfield. Just a single. Claridge quietly has moved on to 10. I think she's playing perfectly actually. Just give the strike to Graham.
Yeah.
Don't try and do anything silly. Just do exactly what Claridge is doing. Here's Graham again facing Adams, and she works on the onside. They'll just jog through for one this time, and Graham will keep the strike. And that is 12 gone. And the Blaze, having been put into bat, are 111 for 4.
Yeah, she's been the perfect foil, hasn't she, for Heather Graham. This is only her 3rd innings out of 7. Well, actually 8 games now.
She's not been a regular.
No, she bats at 6 or 7 in both formats. And again, has been coming in with 2 or 3 overs to go, and so hasn't had that opportunity. And she's always been in the position where she's just got to get in and get on with it. And I know that's the nature of T20 cricket, but I think she'll be a better player for facing 15 balls and going at her on a ball before she starts to go expansive. Just kind of get accustomed to the conditions first before having to go from ball 1. So she's taken her opportunity so far. Having been asked to come in the power play, she wouldn't have expected that, would she, being a number 6 bat? Another change at the Lake End then. We're going back to Mary Taylor. Heather Graham on strike. A couple of taps of the bat. Rihanna Southby up to the stumps as Taylor's in now, right arm over the wicket, and on the pads of the Australian, who works this into the leg side for a single. Well cut off actually by Elise Perry.
Is it? Oh, is it
Elise Perry? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, sorry. It's not easy to do. Just fling out one hand there and pick it up cleanly in this bobbly outfield.
A couple of changes now, so deep cover going out for Claridge, who's on strike now. Right arm over the wicket from Mary Taylor. That's full and on the pads, and Claridge misses that one. There's a stifled appeal, and I think the bowler realised it was going right down the leg side. Claridge just taking a moment now because she's been wrapped on the ankle or the foot there. Can't quite see on the camera angle due to the position of the umpire. Looks like it's kind of gone on the bridge of the foot.
Yeah, that's
my
painful.
guess.
Yeah, that's painful. Right on top of the boot. Yeah, there's never usually much protection there. Something to keep her mind occupied for a little while.
Yeah, that'll be throbbing now as she takes guard again, and Taylor's in now, right arm over the wicket, and this one on the pads again, flicked hard, round past deep square leg. They'll come back for 2. Tatani does well there, but she does slip recovers quite nicely, so they'll come back for 2, so Claridge moves on to 12.
Yeah, she's got some World Cup qualifiers to look forward to, isn't they? Because they came through. USA came through at the end of the winter. The Americas, didn't they? World Cup qualifying.
Turning to leg side this time by Claridge. They'll just get one as it's cut off by Freya Kemp at deep mid wicket. So starting to just up the ante is Ella. Look, can't get my Ella's out there. Ella Claridge.
Yeah, in Buenos Aires, at America's T20 World Cup qualifiers, which they won. They won that tournament, so they'll go through to the next stage, won't they?
Yeah, well, I was speaking to another American international and former Viper South Coaster, actually, at an event in Lancashire on Tuesday. As Taylor's in, and this one's driven up to mid-on for no run. I was chatting to Tara Norris.
Yes.
Plays for the US as well.
Yes.
So she was telling me about the qualifiers in Argentina.
So when's the next stage of that? End of this summer?
Do you know what?
I'd have to look it up, actually.
I don't think it's in Scotland, purely because I think they've got men's qualifiers and they don't normally award both, but I might be wrong.
Okay.
Sometimes Scotland hosts them, but it depends where Scotland are in the pecking order of qualification as well. Taylor in again, bowls a cutter this time, full, and it's going to be given a wide outside off stump. A little bit of a fumble from Rihanna Southby, but she recovers.
Didn't Scotland miss out?
Didn't they have
to beat Ireland?
You might be right.
And they lost to Ireland.
So maybe it's in Ireland, the qualifiers.
Right.
We'll have to look that up when we get a moment in this action-packed T20. As Taylor's on her way once again. Another cutter or roll of the fingers. It's a low full toss and it'll be bunted up to long on for another single. So that'll keep Heather Graham on strike for the next over. That's the end of the 14th. The Blaze are 117 for 4.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that both the Bryce sisters played in it and they had to beat Ireland and they lost. Something off the top of my mind. I remember looking this up earlier on in the competition, early on in the 50 over competition. And I'm sure I came across that. I think that was T20 qualifiers. Because the T20 World Cup's the end of this summer, isn't it?
No, it's next year, isn't it?
Oh, is it next year? Oh, right, because they've still got to go through another. USA have still got to go through another.
So maybe it won't be this summer then, I bet, because the focus will be on the 50 over World Cup in India, won't it? So maybe the qualifiers are in post-Christmas or spring next year, so it could be in the subcontinent or the Middle East.
Right, I'm just going to have a look it up because I'm sure I did some research on that a few months ago. Elise Perry will bowl downhill for the first time. She's bowling to Heather Graham. Graham hits that down the ground, over her head, and that's going for 6. Or you can hear that bounce into the advertising boards just in front of us. What a strike! This moves on to 71, straight as you like.
I've got the answer for you from a sometimes not so reputable encyclopedia that's online. It just says for 2026 to be arranged. So it will be in early 26 before the English summer, I imagine.
Okay.
And I'm guessing like regional qualifiers are ongoing at the moment.
Perry in again, bowls a little shorter but smashed through extra cover. Tatani is out on the rope. They'll run 2. Good running as well, really had to get her skates on there, did Ella Claridge. She was running to the danger end. Good fielding from Tatani, but both batters committed on the 2. That's another good strike from Graham. She moves on to 73, 125 for 4.
No shape coming out the hand of Elise Perry now. Don't get much lateral movement through the air with these white kookaburra balls at the best of times.
Here comes Perry again then, running away from us down the hill. Bowls, low full toss, and she's caught and bowled. Elise Perry clings on to it. And that is the end of Heather Graham for a very, very entertaining 73. And Elise Perry has done it again. Lovely return catch. That's the 5th wicket down, 125.
Yeah, that low full toss has been the eventual downfall for Heather Graham there. It's a good low catch, actually.
God, it is. I thought it had gone. I must admit, I couldn't quite see because of the umpire on my angle, because we're ground level, so our views get a little blurred. But low full toss hit back, and Perry. Oh, I think she's pleased. She's clung on to that.
Yeah, well, it's just going to take slight momentum out of the Blaze, this, with the set batter departed. I'll give you some broader statistics on the Heather Graham innings in a second. But it's Michaela Kirk who's come to the crease, just marking a guard now. She'll face up to the Aussie Elise Perry. Heather Graham then 73 from 47 balls, 50 minutes, 8 fours, 2 sixes. But it's down to Ella Claridge and a colleague who's just joined now, Michaela Kirk. Couple of taps of the bat. Perry on her way down the hill, right arm over the wicket, banged in, down the leg side. Kirk looking to pull that, but can't get any bat on it as it goes down the leg side, signalled a wide by the umpire. Umpire Ant Harris standing at the pavilion end. Perry once again as that breeze picks up, right arm over the wicket, full and straight to Kirk, who shovels that one out to extra cover, and there's no run. Played in 5 matches before today. Michaela Kirk just batted the once. That innings yielded 4 runs, so a bit more time, a bit more of a chance today. She's on strike again and she tries to pull this one off a length, and it hits her in the midriff, and there'll be no run once again. So a couple of dots after that wicket from Elise Perry. Very eventful over. 6-2 wicket, wide, dot, dot so far, with 1 ball to come. As we approach the 15 over mark. Perry once again, full tilt up past the umpire, right arm over the wicket, full and straight, worked into the leg side, bunted up to mid-on, fielded by Mary Taylor. It'll just be the single. Kirk off the mark then, and that's the end of the 15th. The Blaze are 127 for 5, 5 remain. So Blaze probably don't quite have that license to thrill just yet. Just with the fact that the wicket column is a couple more than they would have liked at this stage, and the set batter in Heather Graham just departing us.
Number 1, Georgia Adams.
Skipper has made a change, bringing herself back on. Georgia Adams to bowl for the first time from the lake end. She's in now, right arm over the wicket, reverse swept from Michaela Kirk. It beats the hand of backward point, and that's 4 runs. So a bit of dexterity there from Michaela Kirk, putting the pressure back on the bowler in the first ball of the over. As I said, Michaela Kirk's got 5 centuries this season in second 11 cricket. Tier 2 cricket, she greatly receives this low full toss and worked into leg side, but field's set to cut that off, and will be cut off by wide, long gone. Elise Perry doing the fielding down there. She seems to be everywhere. Change of field for Claridge. They're going to bring 1 fielder across into mid-wicket from the offside as Adams is in now, and it's turned into that mid-wicket region. It's going to evade a straight mid-wicket and cut off by the boundary rider Freya Kemp. So they're going with a 5-4 field to Kirk and a 4-5 field to Claridge, just changing that extra cover for a mid-wicket. Adams in now to Kirk, who has a bit of a hack at that one into leg side. Bit of a free hit because there's no fielder in the circle there. It's all along the ground. I'd be cut off by the boundary rider. So another single to Kirk, another single to the Blaze as they move on to 1, 3, 4 for 5 in the 16th game in the balance. Down the track this time and swept around the corner. Datani's got a bit of work to do. Well cut off in the end. He'll come back. Good running there by the pair. Little shuffle across and down the track and then swept round the corner. So very dexterous and creative so far as Michaela Kirkers. Adams is in again, given room by Ella Claridge this time, and drives that to extra cover. There's a fumble and they will get through for a single. So starting to be a bit creative, the Blaze batters. Eking out every run they can. That's the end of the 16th. Blaze 137 for 5 now. Ella Claridge on to 16 from her 20 balls. Started to catch up with balls faced and runs scored. Seen Kirk be really creative for her 7 runs from 6 balls.
Change of bowler at the pavilion end, number 9, Mary Taylor.
Yeah, so I just looked it up. Yeah, they lost in the last ball game in Lahore. Ireland beat Scotland in the last ball.
That was the 50 over, wasn't it?
I think actually it was the 50 over. Yeah, Catherine Bryce got 131 not out.
Yeah, she was player of the tournament, but has unfortunately not made the.
50 over, yeah.
I've got a theory about that World Cup actually, or an idea about that World Cup. I'll come back to that in a minute. It's always dangerous when I come up with a theory.
There's a little ramp shot there. Mary Taylor is on. It's a full toss. It's running down the hill. That'll beat Bex Tyson to the boundary. And that is 4 runs off the bat of Ella Claridge. And she moves on to 21, 141 for 5 in the 17th.
There's been a sea change by these two. Kirk's come in and been creative from ball 1, which is great to see, and she's got that licence with 4 overs to go now. But Claridge has just started to use the depth of the crease, come across the crease, go off leg side of it, and we see that again there. It just puts the pressure on the bowler early in the over.
Yeah, it's going to be a good total, this. Despite losing 4 wickets in the first 6 overs, the Blaze have only lost 1 in the next 10. As Taylor comes in and bowls to Claridge once more. Length ball, Claridge works that away on the onside. Megan Sturge runs around from deep forward square leg, and they'll take the throw on. And Claridge is going to get there. Good running, good fielding. 2 runs to the Blaze takes them on to 143 for 5. So this theory of yours?
Well, I'm just checking before I mention this theory, but how many teams are in the 50 over World Cup in India? Is it a 12-team tournament, is it?
This was back in April, wasn't it? April, May, I think I saw that. Sorry, March, April. Claridge doesn't quite get the bat on that properly. Mary Taylor will throw at the bowler's end and it hits Claridge on the back, and that will be her second painful blow of her innings. She got a painful blow on the ball of the foot, and now she's got a painful blow on the back, courtesy of a throw from Mary Taylor, and the physio is coming on.
That was nasty, wasn't it? Everybody in the bowl here went ooh at the same time in unison.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, I must admit, I couldn't remember if it was the 50 or the T20 tournament, but I just remember a must-win game against Ireland, which went down to the wire,
Yeah, it's definitely the 50 over World Cup in India, and everything really this summer from an England point of view is gearing up to that. I'm trying to see how many teams are in it, is what I'm looking at. 8 teams it is, yeah. I know it's a small number. My thoughts are, I remember in historical men's World Cups, I think there should be an ICC associate conglomerate team that go, so that players like Sarah and Catherine Bryce and other associate nation leading cricketers, Stair Callises of this world, can go as a conglomerate team and represent the rest of the world ultimately. We did that. Am I right in saying that there was a World Cup where it was like a conglomerate of African nations that went to a World Cup. They called it East Africa or something like that. I just think, especially with the women's game, it'll just help the development of the women's game. You know, if you're from a smaller nation, will it not help improve that nation if their best players get to go to a World Cup until they qualify themselves?
Or just expand the tournament.
Just expand it, perhaps, yeah. But then Netherlands could qualify, but Scotland may not, or just an idea, Kev, really.
You're full of ideas. I mean, when the hour or two that we talked before we came on air, you've got lots of ideas in that head of yours.
Yeah, it's dangerous sometimes. Breaking play at the moment then, as it blusters again, and the gazebo that we're stationed in is just about still on the ground.
It's been tested, isn't it?
Although, have you seen the pegs that are drilled into the ground? They're not little tent pegs that you and I have got in our loft at home. They're serious, robust pegs then.
Fortunately, because it is a bit blowy. And do you know what? I've been looking at that scoreboard to our right all game, and I've just noticed through the trees, there's the crooked spire, just in one of the gaps. And I hadn't noticed that until just now. You can't come to Chesterfield and not see the crooked spire on the church. It's a bit like going to Disneyland and not seeing Mickey Mouse.
Or going to... Yeah, I'll leave it there. We're back on.
Yeah, at least the cricket's back. As that's driven out on the offside by Kirk. Fielded at a point. And there's no run. We're in the 17th over here. The sunshine is out, which is good news. 144 for 5, the Blaze. It looks like they are going to get up around that 170, 180 mark, perhaps, which will be a good total. And one without Hampshire's leading players here that will challenge them, that's for sure. No Boucher. Be interested to see if she's in the England side this evening. That's driven hard, and that's a wicked take at mid-off there for Megan Sturge. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry, it's Freya Davis. And it's one of those that you don't really want to be behind, and you put your hands down, and you just hope that it sort of hits your hands.
You just got to get something on it, haven't you? Otherwise, it's costing your team runs.
It's one of those where you grimace and just wait to see what part of your body the ball hits. But she's okay, is Freya. 145 for 5. Here's Mary Taylor again, and Claridge drives, and Mary Taylor. Oh, I thought she'd held on to that. I thought that was a catch, but she's done well to stop it. And that's a dot ball at the end of the over, and that is 17 gone.
Yeah, Blaze 145 for 5. Well, she saved 4, I think, because it was pretty straight. It would have beat mid-off. It's a shame she couldn't hold on, because it was absolutely rocketed at her.
God, wasn't it just?
But at this stage of the game, I would suggest it saved 4 runs, nevertheless.
I'm just wondering, I'm looking at this again, slow motion, and I think she actually catches it. It's not quite lodged in her hand, and as she falls over, it bounces out. Great effort, you're right. At this stage, saving 4 runs is probably about as good as it gets.
Georgia Adams then from the lake end, full. And on the pads of Michaela Kirk, who will bunt it up to long gone once again for a single. Claridge back on strike. 3 overs remain now. I think there's a licence to thrill now, isn't there, from the Blaze? 5 wickets left. Claridge gives herself room, drives this on the up, through the fielder at the end. That's a shame from a fielding point of view, but great creativity again from Claridge there. Just shuffle into the leg side and then driving it through extra cover. A bit of a teaser as it beat extra cover, and then Longoff had to come round and cut it off, and didn't be able to do that.
That'd been Orgrove down there.
150 up then for the Blaze. Claridge this time sweeping, shuffling across to the offside to sweep that one. Well cut off actually by Bex Tyson at short fine leg, but they'll come through for a single.
I thought there was a chance of a run out there. I'm not sure the throw was great. The fielding was great. The throw after was not so.
Intent shown from the Blaze then as Kirk's bowled round the legs, shuffled too far across to the offside this time, and almost cramped herself for room, and she's bowled round the legs by the skipper Georgia Adams. So cameo from Kirk, departing for 9 from her 10 deliveries. cameo partnership worth 26.
That's all you want now, isn't it? You just want little contributions from the rest of the batters just to keep the scoreboard along, or make sure that Claridge faces. That's all you want.
Yeah, when you look back at stats, they lack context sometimes, don't they? But what Kirk did there, I think, was she came out, played reverse sweeps, conventional sweeps, ran well, and has got Claridge going. And although in the book it'll say 9, it lacks that context of it was a partnership of 20 odd, it got Claridge going, stage of the game. Very much the batter union in me talking there, but Sarah Glenn, the new batter, and on strike. She's got a full toss first ball, bunted up to long on for a single. It was aerial for a moment. It bounces once before it finds Elise Perry down there doing the fielding.
She's been busy, hasn't she, in a couple of weeks playing for the ECB Women's 11. A couple of games down at Beckenham against India.
Yeah. County Select 11.
Yeah.
Attempted ramp this time from Ella Claridge off the bowling of Adams. Interesting tact there, with not much pace on the ball and short fine leg ready to catch that if she gets some contact on it, but she completely fluffs the lines there and it's no run. So that's the end of the 18th over. Plays 152 for 6.
There's almost no pace on that ball. I think even if she had played a proper ramp shot, it wouldn't have gone anywhere.
No.
There's absolutely no pace on it at all.
Claridge hits the ball hard, that's her strength, so she's gone away from her strength there, trying to be too cute. She just needs to give the ball a whack.
29 of 28 with only 2 fours though from Ella Claridge. It's going to be Sarah Glenn to face Rebecca Tyson with her left arm spin around the wicket, bowls, and she's trying to sweep away on the leg side, gets wrapped on the pad, called through by Claridge. The bowler collects the throw at her end, leg buys, and it's 153 for 6, and we're in the penultimate over of this T20 Blast women's fixture here at Queen's Park in Chesterfield. Puffin Billy is doing the rounds around the ground, picking up lots of children. You can hear there's a lovely shot down the ground, and Claridge will pick up her 3rd boundary. Elise Perry can't quite get around there, just bounces into the boundary boards in front of us. Good strike there from Claridge, 157 for 6.
Yeah, smart cricket. Not quite straight as a die, but just to the right hand of the umpire, which teases Elise Perry at long on.
Tyson in again, slug sweep on the leg side. That's going to run away down to the bottom end. Don't bother chasing that. That does run away very, very quickly indeed. A couple of boundaries to start this over. 161 for 6. So Bex Tyson is into her last over here. It was pretty economical up until then.
Yeah, she just used the width of a crease there, Tyson, shuffling across the offside to get it behind square leg where there's no fielder.
Pass to Claridge once more. Claridge tries to mow that one away on the leg side. What's that hit? I don't think it's hit anybody. It's running away down the bottom end of the ground, and Mary Taylor's giving that one up. It's 4 byes. It's missed the stumps, not by very much. It's not missed the bat by very much, and it's not missed Rihanna Southby by very much either.
Yeah, just a complete hack across the line, and it's not spun, it's just gone on with the arm and missed leg stump and missed everything. They all count.
So 165 for 6, the Blaze. They'll be happy with this. Penultimate over here as the sun comes out once more, and Claridge gives herself some room. Hits it out to the covers. Have to hurry here. Underarm throw to Southby. Not gathered cleanly. 166 for 6 now. Sarah Glenn back on strike. See a lot of her leg breaks later on. But for now, she's got a job to do with the bat. Tyson in bowls. Glenn, oh, and again that's beaten everybody. Again, it's running down the hill. Mary Taylor is after it. Might just get it this time. Or will she? No, she's not. And what's that? Oh, that's come off the bat. It's come off a very, very, I think, inside edge. Very thin.
Yeah, very thin inside edge. She come down the pitch, didn't quite get to the pitch of the ball. just nicked the inside edge of the bat and ran down to a very fine leg. Mary Taylor chasing in vain.
That's a big over.
Yeah, it's a very big over. That's the end of the 19th. So Blaze on to 117 for 6.
18 off that. Ooh, can't afford overs like that at this stage. That could be the difference between winning and losing.
Freya Davies then to bowl the final over from the Lake End. She's on her way now up past umpire Amy Clark. Right arm over the wicket. It's been ramped very fine and it's been misfielded or misjudged by Bex Tyson at short fine, and it'll run away for 4 runs. So some serious foot to the floor here from the Blaze in these final 2 overs.
Yeah, it looks like Bex Tyson was in 2 minds there, whether to run round the ball or attack it.
Yeah, I think she was wrong-footed, and a kind of a left leg was ahead of her, and she needed a right leg to be ahead of her to drop to the floor and cut it off. Change of field now. Fine leg's gone out. As Davies is in, this one's hacked into the leg side. It'll just be the single as Claridge takes another 1 to her total, cut off by Naomi Datani at deep square leg. So Sarah Glenn comes on strike. 4 balls remain. Davies in now, and that's whacked on the up. It was short and wide, but she's managed to hit it over wide, long off for 4 runs. Looked like a cutter, like a slow cutter, but dug into the pitch. Glenn waited for that really well, and then almost played a forward cut. Got right underneath it.
Ooh, it's getting a bit serious, this, from the Hampshire point of view.
Creative batting there from Sarah Glenn, well waited for. Freya Davies, what's her response? She's gone tight into the stumps this time, and it'll be bunted up the ground. Long on will do the fielding once again. Elise Perry doing long on to long on at the moment. Stepometer will be doing overtime. So 2 balls remain, 180 for 6. Davies on her way now. Claridge on strike. Hit hard, it's gone through mid-off. Hit very hard. It was an awkward bounce for the skipper, Georgia Adams, and it's gone through her hands. She hits the floor, and the ball hits the advertising hoardings. So
that is a horrible bounce.
It is
that
awful.
Really is. I mean, that just reared up.
But you also make your own luck, don't you, there? Hitting the ball hard. Giving herself room again there, Claridge. Been really creative these last few overs.
Yeah, I make it 31 runs scored off the last 10 balls.
I think that was, isn't that 11 balls? That was the 5th ball of that over.
Yeah. So if you take the 2nd ball of the penultimate over, which went for 4, if you go from there.
I see what you've done there, Kev.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 152 with two overs to go. And this one slapped away, as offered width and carved away behind backward point by Ella Claridge. So another boundary, and a boundary to end the innings. 188 for 6 for the Blaze. Scratching her head is Freya Davies at the end of that over, but she offered a bit of width there. It was short and wide outside off stump. So the final ball goes to the boundary. So I'll run through the batting statistics. Kevin James will take you through the bowling statistics. But a reminder that Hampshire won the toss and elected to bowl here at Queen's Park at Chesterfield. Cameos all round from a Blaze point of view. Marie Kelly got off to a flyer with 16 before being bowled by Freya Davies quite emphatically. Georgia Elwes played a character shot, actually, bunted the ball to mid-on for just her 2 runs. Catherine Bryce didn't stay too long either. She was caught off the first ball of Elise Perry's bowling in Hampshire colours, caught behind the wicket by Rihanna Southby for 7. Sarah Bryce departed, bowled Freya Davies, LBW for 6. Heather Graham, star of the show, she scored 73 from her 47 deliveries, including 8 fours and 2 sixes. She was caught and bowled, well caught by Elise Perry with a drilled catch off her own bowling there. Ella Claridge, 51 not out. We've missed that there, Kev. At the end of the innings, she passed her 50 with the last ball of the innings from 36 balls, including 7 fours. She finishes not out by 51. And Michaela Kurt, little cameo of 9 runs off 10 balls that included a boundary as well. She was bowled by Georgia Adams round her legs. And Sarah Glenn joined Ella Claridge for that final partnership, scoring 10 from her 5 deliveries, including 2 fours. So the Blaze finish up 188 for 6.
Yeah, and well, that was a real onslaught at the end. I'll come to that more in a moment. But Freya Davies finished with a couple of wickets, although there was the most expensive bowler. 4 overs, 2 for 49. There was 2 wickets for Elise Perry, including a wicket off her very first delivery for Hampshire. 2 for 23 from 3. A wicket apiece for Rebecca Tyson, 1 for 31 from her 4, and Georgia Adams 1 for 35 from 4. But the last 11 balls that Hampshire bowled, 35 runs were scored. Should we come back in a few minutes? Should we take a few minutes break?
I think we need a breather after all those runs.
We do, yeah.
Wickets, catches.
Myself, Kevin James, and James Carr will join you at the start of the Hampshire Reply.
Go for it. Hello. Oh no, it's just straight down the middle, shall I? Gotcha, you got it. Did you catch it? We're all alright. There you go. I'm hitting him straight, you know. I'm so sorry. There we go. Bit of space, mate. Good grab. Hey, see ya. Go get it. Oh, did that just swing like miles up in that? I saw it. No, not like last second, you just went over there like against the wind. Get my mitt. Yeah, that's it, just be prepared for it. Don't be caught out, man. You shit us up. We know what's going on. Alright, buddy. Go well.
So, yeah. So I was just like, we'll go through like the full test now. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure the umpire were happy. Yeah. So they were.
Okay? Yeah. I was going to say, I need to go and catch a couple as well. Oh yeah? I mean, let's be honest, why the hell would you do it anyway? Case by case scenario. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I said, if you interpret it in that sense, it's like, yeah. And he moves back, doing the back, when they were kicking away. Throw his back away,
I'm just going to be holding the bat every time and just go like
You
this.
can't hit it anyway, so we'll see. I like it when it's like that. I do think we have a...
Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining us, the Blaze have posted 188 for 6 here at Queen's Park in Chesterfield. We think it's probably around the par figure. But there's some serious muscle in the Hampshire women batting lineup, so it's going to make for some great watching and listening, depending on the platform that you're taking us in from. James Carr and Kevin James here, live for BBC Radio Solent on the BBC Sport app and on the Blaze YouTube channel. Cassidy McCarthy is going to open the bowling from the pavilion end. Brianna Southby and Elise Perry are the opening batters. And King Kev is going to take you through the first over.
Yes, outside the off stump, and that's left alone by Southby, and it's called a wide. Cassidy McCarthy, who was on the Southern Vipers Academy in 21 and 22, didn't quite get through any further, and then all of a sudden I noticed, I think last year or something, she was popped up with the Blaze. Well, the last couple of years she's been with the Blaze. Obviously done quite well, hasn't she? Right arm over, coming in, bowls to Southby, and this wraps Southby on the pad. It'll go square on the leg side. Hampshire move on to 2 without loss. An unfamiliar opening partnership here for Hampshire. Southby bumped up the order. Elise Perry, of course, well, you've got to get her in early. But the more familiar duo of Ella McGacken and Maya Boucher, not available to Hampshire for a couple of reasons. Maya Boucher called up by England, may play for England tonight, I don't know. She's been called up into the T20 international squad, and Ella McGacken, I'm afraid, is still injured. Did far too much batting and just picked up an injury. She was getting too many runs. She was spending too long at the crease.
It's such a shame, isn't it? Because it's been a serious breakthrough year for her.
That's for sure. So Elise Perry then pulls that away. Oh, that's 4 runs. Well, it's not been a bad start to Elise Perry's Hampshire career. Her first delivery produced a wicket, and her first ball faced has gone for a boundary.
Yeah, punished by a high-class batter. Be a learning curve this for Cassidy McCarthy. She didn't start the season in the 50-over comp in the side, but she's been preferred in recent weeks and has been a handful. She bowls a heavy ball. She's worked hard on her fitness. She's a very robust athlete.
Comes in again, runs away from us and bowls. It's wide outside the off stump, and that's another wide. Well, I've not seen Elise Perry bat before. She's quite tall. I don't think I noticed her being that tall when she was bowling. I don't know what it is, whether she's put a helmet on and suddenly looks taller, but she does look as though she's got a commanding presence at the crease, just in her stance. Just the way she addresses the ball. That's driven, not timed, as it goes up towards extra cover. But she just the way she's taken her guard, just the straightness in some of her back. It's very imposing. Looks as though she means business. looks as though she, you know, some batters look as though they know they're a good player. She just looks like, if I was running into bowl to her, that's what the impression. Oh, now there's an inside edge there, and it's running away down to fine leg for 4. Nowhere near where she was looking to play that. So maybe half a thing in Cassidy McCarthy's favour, but at the end of the day, it's a boundary.
Yeah, one thing I've learned about Cassidy McCarthy through seeing a lot of her this year is she induces shots out of batters. So sometimes she bowls that back of a length where batters think they can climb into it square, like you've seen there with Elise Perry, but you don't always time it when she moves that ball back into you.
McCarthy bowls, that's outside the off stump. It's not called a wide. That didn't bounce very much. Again, just to emphasise this little bit of up and down nature of this pitch. Sometimes when you get a new ball, it accentuates that a little bit. So Perry has scored 8 of the 11 runs that Hampshire scored off this first over, so they're actually keeping pace with the Blaze. The Blaze had an awful start. But it got better. Oh, she's almost bowled her with a Yorker, and she's had to dig that one out as Perry. Well, there was a couple of balls there where McCarthy might have thought she might have picked up the Australian international, but at the end of the day, it's an over that's conceded 11.
Yeah, so the Blaze were 11 at this stage as well, weren't they, Kev, like you say. 1 over in, though. A long way to go here. I think it's going to be about who's the bravest. The Blaze were very dynamic in the back end of the innings, using the depth and the width of the crease to create things. Don't think there's any panic stations early on from a Hampshire point of view. They've just got to play the ball on its merit. They'll get value for runs out of the power play. But as the game goes on, it's going to be about who holds them skills the longest. Who's brave to do something a bit different, bowl that variation, or come down the track, or stay leg side of the track, or create something. We shall see.
This is an interesting move. Now, the last time I saw Grace Ballinger bowl, and for the last few times, she swings the ball into the right-hander.
Yes.
And yet she's bowling at the end, where she's going to struggle to bowl a ball into the right-hander with the wind going left to right as we look.
We will see now from the lake end, left arm over the wicket, full and driven emphatically, clinically by Rihanna Southby for 4 runs. So the first ball of the over going straight to the boundary. It's just a long half volley, wasn't it?
Oh.
No swing, as you say, Kev.
It was literally just sort of floated up there, really, as a bit of a loosener. But I'll be amazed if she can get the ball to swing back against this breeze.
Ballinger once again, left arm over the wicket. Tighter line this time, down the leg side. I think he's flicked the pad of Rihanna Southby, taken cleanly down the leg side by Sarah Bryce, and the umpire is unmoved, so it's a dot ball in the book.
Just watching that ball again, and yeah, she's really tried to bring that ball back. If anything, it may have straightened a bit. She's got that natural ball, isn't it? That natural curve on the ball.
Ballinger once again, and driven on the up once again by Southby. This time hits the fielder, Sarah Glenn, doing the honours. No run.
It's a bit unlucky. Had to be straight at the fielder to be stopped.
Yeah, I thought Ballinger might have ran down the hill as well.
Maybe she, well, I was going to say, she can't have been out seniority or whatever the thing is.
Yeah, Ballinger bangs this one in, pulled away well in front of square by Southby, and clinically put away again for 4 more runs. Missed a length on the short side this time, Grace Ballinger.
Yeah, it's too short. 3 wickets Ballinger's picked up in this tournament so far, averaging 40 apiece. Her economy rate is 8. I suppose she's bowling some important overs, especially in the power play. It doesn't take much to get the ball past the infield. It's certainly not here.
Ballinger has pulled out in this delivery. I think the wind has blown something in her eye, because her hand went straight to her eye. My heart sunk then, because she did that at Loughborough and it was a hamstring or a calf or something, and she walked straight off the field. And she's a character, Grace Ballinger, wears her heart on her sleeve, so you don't want to see any player being injured, but certainly not Grace Ballinger. But she's ball in hand now through the crease, and This time on the money, looks like a bit of gentle swing into the right-handed Rihanna Southby, who plays that one honestly with a vertical bat and there's no run.
You can tell it's a natural ball of hers because, yeah, even just to get it so straight in this breeze is a really good effort.
I think what you'll see is if she'll likely bowl at least 2 spells. She'll come round the wicket later on and bowl at the stumps. She's over the wicket at the moment now, and she's in, and driven on the up again from Southby. She kind of chokes down on the bat that time and can't contact the same. So it's another dot fielded at mid-off. So that's the end of the second. Hampshire women 19 without loss.
Yes, I think Southby and 1 or 2 of the other batters that are being bumped up the order here because of the top 3 not being around for various reasons for this game. That they're in a very much a similar situation, really, where they've hardly batted, they've hardly been called upon, really.
17, Catherine Bryce.
Southby up opening the order, top scorer 29 this year in this competition. Striking at 123. So who have we got now? We've got
Catherine Bryce.
Catherine Bryce.
And she's taking this tact of coming round the wicket to the right-handers again.
Interesting. Perry drives, finds Glenn out in the covers.
At Derby, we saw her do that against the Sunrisers. She bowls in duckers. She's doing it from round the wicket and trying to duck it into the pads of the right-handers by pushing it across and then ducking it in.
Yeah, well, she's got the breeze to help her do that. She's wrapped on the pad. Remember, it's got to pitch in line as much as anything else, so the ball's got to do a little bit on that angle.
I would guess that there was an inside edge there as well. It felt like there was, it sounded like there was 2 noises. Yeah, I was going to say, that's not a bad shout, actually. It is shaping in. Oh, that's shaped in, definitely. Perry's on the back foot. Bryce Field's on a follow-through. Definitely a bit of shape there, you're right. Yeah. Just bowling it, a natural, yeah, she has that natural sort of in curve and the breeze helping that as well. But generally, if it's just short of a length, he's going to pitch just outside there. It goes for a little ramp shot there, and it's going down the hill. Just beats the efforts of the fielder there, and that's 4 runs. Despite Fletch getting in the way there, looking at the Deftness from the Australian international, Elise Perry, just beating the right-hander Grace Ballinger at short, fine leg. It runs away down that hill so quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, don't bother running after that. There's Bryce is in again. Bowls. Perry goes in the air. This could be out called at mid-off, and that is taken, and that is the first wicket. And Perry goes for 12, and it's 23 for 1.
Yeah, it seemed to be in the air for a long time then as it came down. Well held by the skipper, Kirsty Gordon.
Elise Perry out for 12.
Just a bit of quietness in the ground. I think there'll be a bit of disappointment that high quality player like Elise Perry is leaving us so soon. Trying to drive at one that just wasn't there to be driven. It's got under it, trying to force the issue, and it just wasn't quite required there.
She did well, actually, Kirsty Gordon. She took it above her head. I suppose it's a little bit difficult because the breeze, and you're standing underneath the ball and you're thinking, well, will the breeze take the ball? Will the breeze hold the ball? Will the ball up a little bit? In the end, she's literally taken the catch right above her head. Yeah, she's got a little bit come across the ball a little bit there, Perry. Never really got any power into that. Just scooped it up in the air. Freya Kemp is the new batter.
Interestingly, Bryce is coming over the wicket to the left-handed Kemp rather than staying round and again trying to shape it and keep the stumps in play. But what do I know?
Is it me? I can't remember.
It's you.
It is me, yeah. That's driven out on the offside by Kemp. She's been featuring for England A in the 3-match ODI series against New Zealand A, whilst this tournament has been taking a break. And she also hit her highest T20 score in the last game against Somerset, which was 2 weeks ago. And if I can can find it, I'll tell you exactly what it was.
At the lake end, number 3, Sarah Glenn.
So what's the score? 23 for 1. We've had 3 overs.
65 not out is the highest score in this campaign.
That's right, yeah, that was the last game, yeah. 38 deliveries. That was the highest T20.
Sarah Glenn is going to bowl from the lake end. So we're going to see spin in the power play. Not afraid to bowl spin, Captain Kirsty Gordon within the power play. Perhaps a match-up with Rihanna Southby this. Not a huge turner of the ball, bowls a lot of toppies and wrong-uns as she's in now. Tall action, right arm over the wicket. Southby stands tall and just back foot drives this to extra cover for no run.
How's she been doing in this tournament, Sarah Glenn? 3 wickets. 36 apiece.
She's in now once again. Back of a length again. Cut away this time. It'll be spilled through the hands of Michaela Kirk, so they'll come through for a single.
Good economy rate though, Sarah Glenn. Just over 7.5. Not bad for a spinner.
Yeah, only played the 4 games. Been in and out with the England activity. A's and select 11 squads playing India and New Zealand A. So Glenn's going to come around the wicket to left-handed Kemp. She's in now on the pads of Kemp, who turns that into leg side. Ooh. It's gone very square and it's gone for 4 runs. A misjudgment by Michaela Kirk, who's stationed at square leg there. She let that go, thinking she had cover behind her. But the boundary rider was actually at deep mid-wicket, so what seemed like an innocuous dot ball became 4 runs. So Kemp is off the mark. She's facing up again to Sarah Glenn. Right arm round the wicket, down the track, turned into leg side, and this time it is fielded cleanly by Michaela Kirk, and it's no run.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, whether it was a fielder there or not, I mean, just a little tickle off your legs, big boundary, and the ball just absolutely flew over the outfield. It really is amazing, this outfield.
Glenn, once again, round the wicket and hit hard up the ground for 1 by Kemp. Marie Kelly doing the fielding at long on. Brings the right-handed Southby on strike. 29 for 1. 1 ball left in this first over from Sarah Glenn. She's in now, it's cut away and it'll beat the infield. Bit of a gimme from Sarah Glenn, 4 runs, punished by Southby. Coach killer, isn't it? Boundary off the last ball of an over. Hampshire women, 33 for 1.
10
from
off that.
4.
Yeah, 10 off that one. And amazingly enough, the Blaze also had 33 after 4. But they'd lost 3 wickets by now. Poor start from the Blaze. 49 for 4 they were at one stage in the 6th over.
In
fact, 49 for 4 they were at the end of the power play. But recovered amazingly well through Heather Graham and Ella Claridge, and that is something that Hampshire will have to counter as well. Is it going to be Freya Kemp? It won't be Elise Perry, she's already gone for 12. Will it be Rihanna Southby, Abby Norgrove and Georgia Adams to come? Some big players, but shorn of 3 even bigger players, I'm afraid, so it won't be easy. But those 35 runs off the last 11 balls of the innings, yeah, I think for me that might be telling, I think. So who have we got here? We've got Ballinger switching ends. I think this will favour her a little bit more.
McCarthy.
Oh, McCarthy, sorry, she's coming round the wicket. I thought it was Grace Ballinger. McCarthy's going round the wicket this time. Kemp plays that length ball out on the offside. Quick single takes Hampshire on to 34 for 1. Needing just a small matter of another 155. That run rate is around 10 and over. Just under.
Yeah. 9.75 on the graphic on the stream. I think that's smart cricket what Kemp's just done there. Right hand, left hand is a really disruptive thing.
McCarthy bowls outside the off stump. Rihanna Southby didn't really move her feet there. Initially thought it was a wide, but wasn't that wide of off stump. Moves through to keep that Sarah Bryce.
And also, there's not many left-handed bats in the women's game, full stop.
No. McCarthy bowls short, pulled away by Southby. Nobody out there at deep mid-wicket. One bounce for 4. Lovely shot, Southby. Goes on to 17 and Hampshire on to 38 for 1 in the 5th.
We often see, or we've often seen, McCarthy be happy to bang the ball in there actually, and bowl cutters, hit the pitch and try and get the ball up above the waist, but the field isn't really set for that with a deep backward square leg and a deep point. Probably need extra reinforcement for that.
Next ball outside the off stump, that is a wide this time. Yeah, it's difficult when you've only got 2 fielders outside. You've got to be quite disciplined with your bowling, but you've also not got to give too much away. You don't want to be too predictable.
Yeah.
So you bowl a short ball, you've got a deep square leg, you just hope that the batter's not on it early like Southby. Otherwise, it's going way in front of square as it did earlier in this over. 39 for 1 then. Cassidy McCarthy, and again the former Vipers Academy player, had a swing at that one and misses. I don't think that's too far away from the stumps. That was a swing across the line from a good length ball. Just goes to show actually what Hampshire think here about the power play, how important it is to get a decent score on the board. So it hasn't missed the stumps by very much, that one.
Yeah, I don't think that's required, that approach.
Yeah. Southby cuts that away, and that'll be 4 runs. Anything that beats the field behind square down that far end is running away like a absolute train.
Yeah, even that wasn't a convincing cut. It was the ball 2 cut.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to play the shots off the ball before, because you get enough balls like that you can put away.
That's true.
That's the reason why we saw the Blaze being 49 for 4, was because of reckless shots.
43 for 1, coming towards the end of the 5th over. McCarthy bowls again down the leg side. That'll be another wide. Yes, it certainly runs away quicker than Puffin Billy. Goes around the lake here. Sounds like Puffin Billy stopped.
Yeah, he's run out of puff.
Yeah, the puff's gone. 5:30 probably finished. 5 o'clock. No overtime there. Total moves on to 44 for 1. They're just having a chat now. It's Kirsty Gordon and McCarthy. Kirsty Gordon's maybe concerned about the 2 fielders that are out deep. Yeah, I was going to say, no, backward a point, nothing's gone there.
No, and it's a nothing.
Bit of a wasted
it's
field.
a nothing position, isn't it? It's a delivery for a bad ball. I think they're going to go with 3rd.
Yeah.
The extra pace of McCarthy and anything off the outside edge is running down there for 4.
Yeah. Still got the backward square leg in. Those are the 2 fielders that are allowed out for the first 6 overs. As McCarthy's in again, bowls. That's pulled away through mid-wicket. Nobody there. That's going to be 4. A little too short. And Rihanna Southby is onto those very, very quickly. And she moves on to 25 at the end of that over. 48 for 1. That's an expensive over. 15 off that.
Yeah, really cluttered thinking and tactics from the bowler there. Bowled 2 lengths. Banging it in, pitching it up into the batter and outside the off stump. Really difficult to set a field to, and it's even harder in the power play with the amount of fielders inside the circle.
I don't think she actually meant to bowl that ball. I mean, there was a deliberate short ball early on in the over, and that's fine. If Rihanna Southby gets on that early and hits it in front of the square, great. Okay, at least you tried something. But there, I'm not sure she actually tried to bowl that short. So that, I mean, that's actually a poor ball. Yeah.
I think it's brought about by the pressure that's been created by the batters, hasn't it? Change your bowling then. Skipper's on. Left arm orthodox Kirsty Gordon. She's going to come round the wicket to the left-handed Freya Kemp. And Freya Kemp has been bowled. Another wicket from the first ball of a bowling change. Skipper's got through the defences of Freya Kemp there. Swiping across the line and a bit of turn, Kevin James, hitting the leg stump.
That's a big wicket for the Blaze. Big wicket for Hampshire to lose that one. Yeah, I'm going to watch that again. I think you're right. Spin.
Great piece of bowling. Great change as well. Again, having the courage to bowl some more spin in the power play.
Is number 1.
Isn't afraid to do that. Captain Kirsty Gordon. Just looked like it dipped on her and wasn't quite there to drive, and it's got through that bat and pad.
It's a bit of an inside edge as well. Just trying to watch this in a slow motion. It's either turned big or it's had a bit of help off the inside edge. Either way, it doesn't matter. Kim's gone.
48 for 2 then, Hampshire, from 5.1 overs. Captain versus captain now as Georgia Adams faces up, left arm round the wicket. She stays tall in a crease, pushes that back to the bowler, who fields off her own bowling. A couple of taps to the bat from Adams as she shuffles back to this one and pushes it to cover for no run.
Well, nothing's turned since.
Gordon in once again, and play and miss from Adams. Bit of a half shot, no foot movement, waft to the bat. Sarah Glenn takes that cleanly up to the stumps. So rattling through this over. Inside edge this time. We squeezed out to short fine leg and it'll be no run.
It's a great over this.
Wicket and 4 dots so far in the over.
This is heading for a wicket maiden.
Gordon then to complete the over. She's round the wicket and this one's turned into the leg side by Georgia Adams, so she's off the mark. Catherine Bryce will do the fielding now at deep mid wicket. That concludes the power play and it concludes the first over and the wicket taking over with captain Kirsty Gordon. Hampshire after 6 of 49 for 2.
49 for 4 with the Blaze at the end of the power play. So it's certainly game on, but this is where Heather Graham started to really get hold of the Hampshire attack, and then Ella Claridge finished it off 75 and 51 not out. So Hampshire really have to match that. So it doesn't get any easier from here on in. In fact, if anything, the innings gets harder.
I would say, the performance analysts would say you don't win many games of cricket losing 4 wickets in the power play, but the rogue value today was Heather Graham, who just carried on, didn't she?
Terrific stuff, 75 from 47 balls. Great exhibition in ball timing and placement.
That's an interesting graphic. Actually, that's not been updated. We've got a problem with the graphic on the stream, actually. It's an over behind at the moment. It hasn't updated since Sarah Glenn bowled.
All right.
So it makes what I was about to say redundant.
Right.
But we have got Sarah Glenn again now from the pavilion end instead.
First over went for 10. Here she is with her leg breaks again. Pulled away by Adams out in the deep. Here's my over, isn't it? Because I can't remember.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
As the total for Hampshire moves to 50. 50 for the loss of 2 wickets at the start of the 7th over here. Remember, the target is 189. It will be stiff, and is stiff.
Yeah, what I was going to say was that the graphics had... Sorry, Kev.
Sorry, driven up to mid-off. Southby picks up a single.
The graphics froze after the 5th over, and at that point it was run rate required was 9.6, and actual run rate was 9.4, so it was pretty level.
Yeah.
And that over with a wicket and 1 run off it only has sent the run rate to above 10.
That was a terrific over, that really is. And that's pushed away off the back foot into the covers by Adams. Only a single though, 52 for 2. Yeah, an over like that, it does set you back, my word. That was a good over. First one looked as though it turned. Whether the rest turned or not, I'm not sure, but maybe a bit of inside edge from Freya Kemp. I have to analyse that again as Glenn comes in and bowls. Southby works it away on the onside, runs the first one quickly, should get 2. Adams just waits and there's a fumble out there in the deep. I think there's going to be a few of those, as mentioned earlier, with the bobbly outfield and Hampshire really do need to make sure they keep those fielders under pressure in the deep.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Every time it's happened, it's been to poor old Michaela Kirk.
Poor her. She made 9 in that blaze total. As Southby again works it on the onside. They won't get 2 this time, though. 55 for 2 as the temperature drops here at Queen's Park in Chesterfield as we get to the evening part of the day. Noticeably dropped by 2 or 3 degrees at least. It's Glenn again to Adams. Turns it away on the onside. Square, just behind square, but only a single though. 56 for 2. Duckworth Lewis is showing 61. That's always a good guide. I'm not sure we're going to get any rain yet, although there are some clouds that I'm not quite sure what they will do if they come over. You might know better than me.
Not really, but it did make me think about DLS when you mentioned it getting a bit murky. That DLS score has changed again, so I don't know if that number is by ball on the scoreboard here at Queen's Park or whether that's the target at the end of the over. I'm assuming it's the end of the over because it's gone out to 68 now. We'll keep an eye on that and see what system they're operating there. Gordon's going to continue to bowl. It's slightly short and wide outside off stump, and it'll be cut away by Georgia Adams. Just a single though, as it's cut off out on the cover point boundary.
Singles are okay from the blaze point of view. 10 and over needed.
This one's degged in and it's pulled hard in front of square. It's going to bounce once and sit up nicely for Catherine Bryce, who cuts that off and throws it in. So Rihanna Southby just picking up the 1 there. She moves on to 29 from her 18 runs. She's been very expansive and expressive so far. Brings Adams back on strike as Gordon's in, and on the pads of Adams, who plays that to straight mid wicket. It's parried, but it goes through the fielder there. I can't quite see who that is, but it's 1 run nevertheless. Josie Groves was doing the fielding there. Gordon's in and on the money this time as Rihanna Southby has to come forward and play that honestly with a vertical bat, and it's fielded by cover for no run.
Southby's hit a high score in this year's competition, beating the 29 against Warwickshire at Espeston.
Driven hard up the ground this time, bit fuller from Gordon. Will be cut off by Marie Kelly doing the fielding at long on. So Hampshire just happy to knock it round for singles in this over so far. 3 singles from the 4 deliveries bowled so far. As Gordon's in round the wicket again, low full toss, turned into leg side by Georgia Adams. Bit of intent to come back for 2 here. They think about it and then decide against it. Great rocket arm throw by Cassidy McCarthy over the stumps there. So 5 from it, 5 singles, 8 gone. Hampshire 60 for 2. Yeah, so if the camera does keep panning on the stream to the scoreboard, the DLS number is the target at the end of the over. It's gone out to 75 now. So at the end of this over, the 9th over, if we were to come off. And I'm not tempting fate, but it's a good guide, like you say, for run chases, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Hampshire would need to be 75.
Yeah, with a target like this, you need 1 or 2 of the big hitters to come off to complement everybody else. And at the moment, they haven't come off. There's Bryce bowls, and it's caught at mid-wicket. That's a good catch. Low down to her right. And that is the end of Rihanna Southby for 31, and it's 61 for 3.
Yeah, just slightly fallen over that and shovelled it a foot above the ground. Great low catch.
Sarah Glenn.
Sarah Glenn took the catch, yeah. She threw her head back there, Georgia Adams, but it was kind of half a shot, wasn't it? She either needed to wait half a second longer and play it along the carpet, or go half a second early and go over the top of mid-wicket. So even though they're in a better position than where the Blaze were at 61 for 3, the Blaze have got those runs on the board. That scoreboard pressure starts to mount, doesn't it?
Oh dear, it does, yes. Abby Norgrove, the 19-year-old, striding to the crease. She played one match for the England A side against the New Zealand A at Chesterfield during the 2-week break of this tournament.
5 games in this campaign as well, yielding 42 runs, a high score of 24 not out. Strike rate 200.
Yeah, again, she's another one of these that hasn't had much of a go in this competition. That's pushed up towards mid-on by Norgrove. England under-19 captain in the winter.
Yeah, well, she's got a chance now. 12 overs to go. It's a considerable amount of time, isn't it, in T20 cricket?
She has. Bryce comes in, Catherine Bryce to Norgrove. Norgrove works her way into the cover. She's off the mark. Second ball she faces. And Hampshire 62 for 3. Yes, somebody's got to play a major innings here now. And without Imai Boucher's, McCackens, it does look a tall order from here. As Bryce comes in and bowls, that's worked up to mid-on. Single to Southby, takes her on to 32, and the Hampshire total to 63 for 3. Good crowd, still a good crowd here. Looking away to our left. As they sit in the air, it's just over extra cover, and that should just about run away. Or will it? Or will it? Not quite. Good bit of fielding right on the boundary. And Norgrove picks up 3. Probably the first shot we've seen over the top that hasn't actually gone all the way to the rope.
Yeah, driven on the up, possibly taking a bit of sting out of it going up the hill. But Southby keeps showing that intent.
There she is again. Pulled away through mid-wicket. There's a fielder out there. It'll be one bounce. My word, the way the ball hits the ground and it just goes off like a super ball. That's amazing. End of the over. We've had 9 overs here. In Queen's Park in Chesterfield, Hampshire are 67 for 3 with Perry out for 12, Kemp out for 6, Georgia Adams out for 7.
Yep, that DLS score now 87, so 20 differential. As it gets a bit murky and a bit cool here at the Queen's Park in Chesterfield. Got to change your bowling as well. Kirsty Gordon's bowled 2 overs on the bounce from the Lake end, but we're going to see some of Heather Graham now. Got a backward point, regulation point, an extra cover, and a mid-off in the circle. Cover push through on the offside as Graham's in now, right arm over the wicket. It'll be cut well in front of square to that cover field that Michaela Kurt picks up clean and fizzes it back to the bowler, one bounce into the hands of Heather Graham, and then that leg side field, which is having a bit of a change now actually for the batting of Norgrove. It's going to be a long leg and a deep forward square leg and long on with mid-wicket in the circle, so still a 5-4 field. Graham's in now, right arm over the wicket, and this one's worked across the front pad. It's slightly in the air, but it evades mid-wicket. I think about second, but Catherine Bryce cuts that off. She's everywhere, Catherine Bryce. She's always picking the ball up. She's ball follows her. I don't know if you heard that in the effects, Mike, but well done, KB, from Coach Craig coming there. Stopping that second is going to be really pivotal. Cutting off these 2s in the field as Graham's in again, and this one's bunted up the ground through mid-on. Cut off by long on. Who's out there? Marie Kelly.
Finding the fielders at the moment.
But I don't think Hampshire should worry about that. Just keep taking 5, 6 singles and over. And take this deep, because we've seen you can go for 30, 35 in the last 3 overs. So Graham's in now. Back of a length. This one's run off the face of the bat by Abby Norgrove. It's going to run away to the boundary for 4 more runs with ease through that vacant third region. Split the fielders in the circle. Absolute teaser, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Abby Norgrove will take heart from her and Georgia Elwes chasing down that 278 here in the 50-over game last season. Almost to the day, actually. I think there's about 1 day in it. There's been exactly a year. And Norgrove hit a top score in 50-over cricket at 64, so it was on this ground.
She's on strike again now, tapping the bat. And cut away straighter this time through cover. And another single cut off by Michaela Kirk again.
I think the one thing different about Abby Norgrove, apart from being a year older, of course, is that she's much stronger.
Yeah.
You know, this time last year, you know, she didn't really have the strength to consistently beat the infield. She's a lot different this year.
Graham into Southby this time, cut away again. Not greatest of contacts, would just be a single cut off by that cover fielder. So that's the end of the 10th. We're halfway. Hampshire 76 for 3. Norgrove 35 not out from 25. Norgrove 10 not out from 6. And Kevin James is going to tell me what the Blaze were at 10 overs.
The Blaze were 83 for 4.
So pretty close, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, at the moment it's a good game, but it gets tougher from here for Hampshire. Heather Graham still had her foot down firmly on the gas. Ella Claridge was taking time, but then she did. I'm telling you, those 35 off the last 11 balls is going to be a killer.
Do you know what slipped my mind, though? And it's just been jogged, because I've just seen her doing a bit of a loosen and limbering up. Naomi Datani.
Yeah.
She can wield the willow.
She certainly can, but, you know, another one of these that's down the order and hasn't really had a go. That's the thing, you know, you're asking people to do something almost extraordinary and they haven't had a chance. That's played out on the leg side. Start of a new over from Glenn. Rihanna Southby moves on to 77 for 3 now at Hampshire. That's the thing, isn't it? You kind of don't want them to be playing major innings because they just haven't had the practice. Fine if you're coming in and playing a little cameo of 4, 5, 6 balls, maybe a few more, but if you're asking them to do something quite big over 4 or 5 overs, it's, well, we'll wait and see. As Glenn bowls, Norgrove tries to sweep that one down the leg side. It's called a wide. I'm sure Sarah Glenn was totally enamoured with that. Wide it is, 78 for 3. Glenn's bowling from the pavilion end here, which is all covered up with black sheeting, which is a shame because it's quite a nice pavilion here. That's pulled away. Oh, that's a lovely shot there, Abby Norgrove. That's 1 bounce for 4. There's that extra power I've been saying that year has made all the difference. This is Abby Norgrove, who we knew all could bat and has a lovely technique, but now has that extra power.
Yeah, beautiful shot. Wasn't all that short, but it was the way she rocked back and could snap her hands through it. It's a big pocket from long on round to, well, it's more cow corner, isn't it, than deep mid-wicket.
Now Glenn's going to change the field here. Deep cover is coming in. Is she going to reinforce the leg side? Not, well, she is a bit. She's taking one from the leg side and putting it back in. But what's happening now is there's a deep mid off and deep cover is coming in on the ring. 82 for 3 in the 11th. Here's Glenn. Bowls. Steps away. Norgrove gets an inside edge. Luckily for her, it goes out into a gap behind square on the leg side. She'll pick up 1. Coaching staff to our left here got a bit excited.
Yeah, they live and breathe every ball. We take that for granted sometimes.
83 for 3 brings Rihanna Southby back on strike. She's 37 not out, playing well. Needs to keep going. Glenn bowls, flighted. Rihanna Southby pulls that away. Has she found the gap? I think she has. Oh yeah, that's 4 runs. 2 fielders out there at deep mid-wicket and deep mid-on. She's threaded it through. Glenn just bowling a little short once more. Southby moves on to 41.
Yeah, just that smidgen short. But what Southby does really well, being slightly shorter lady, is she's able to just stay on that back foot a little bit longer, isn't she? And then get the horizontal bat through.
She is a much different proposition with the bat this year, Rihanna Southby. She works that away on the leg side, wants a single, sent back by Norgrove, fielded by Ballinger. So 87 here. The Duckworth-Lewis pass score is 95. Hampshire not too far behind. We're just having a look to the clouds. I think we're all right. Can't say that with 100% certainty, though, as that's down the leg side. That'll be a wide.
I think it's too windy, Kev.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think it'll blow over. But take advice from the Met Office.
That's worked away on the leg side. She'll pick up a single this time. And at the end, it's the end of the over. So we've had 11 overs. We've got 9 to do. And Hampshire are 89 for 3, needing 189 for victory, which means their target is another 100 runs, isn't it? Yeah, 100 runs exactly.
Game on.
Yeah, 100 runs off
54 balls.
54.
It's a 9-over slam.
It is. It is. What would you be doing when you're in your position at Northern Diamonds, head director of cricket, and we were in these situations? Your team. What were you like?
I was pretty calm, to be honest. If we played at Headingley, I'd like being in the second tier, away from everything, and just taking everything in, kind of on my own, quietly. So yeah, I'd be pretty relaxed, to be honest. Kirsty Gordon's in, and she's full and straight there. Tried to force that drive, did Rihanna Southby, but it can't break the infield, so there's no run. Gordon gets through these overs quick. She's in once again, and this one's turned into leg side. It'll be a teaser, this, because mid-wicket and long on it. Oh, they're going to come back for the second, and they're going to make it. They make it quite comfortably in the end. It was well ran. It was a teaser, wasn't it? It was a drop and run. It was one of those where the boundary riders had to come in about 20 yards, 2 of them converging long on and mid-wicket. And you named it, Catherine Bryce, she's the one there again. And to the legs again from Kirsty Gordon, turn round to deep square leg. It'll only be a single, almost hit too well this time. Yeah, I was pretty relaxed, Kev.
Yeah.
I don't mind watching the game. You know, people say, oh, yeah, I'm not a great watcher. When I play cricket, once I'm out, I just walk around the ground and enjoy other people playing. It doesn't really bother me. When it gets close, it's a bit different, but Gordon in now, and down the track comes Norgrove. She skewed this into a vacant cover point area, and it'll just be a single as Cassidy McCarthy cuts it off.
Got a little bit around that one, did Norgrove. She's bowling very slowly. Gordon, she's really making the batter. She's kept mid-off up. The batter's looking at that area thinking, yeah, can I go over the top there? Haven't really timed any yet.
Gordon in again, cut away this time, but it won't go through that offside field. And a correction, it wasn't Cassidy McCarthy, it was Heather Graham before who did the fielding. This time it's Georgia Elwis doing the fielding. And there's no run off the penultimate ball of this Kirsty Gordon third over. She's in now, darts this one into the legs of Rihanna Southby, who hits this really well. Cassidy McCarthy does the field in a deep backward square leg. And it's just the one run. So, 8 to go, 12 gone. Hampshire 94 for 3. Rihanna Southby well set on 46 red from her 35 balls. Norgrove going at a very good lick. 16 from her 9 balls. It's in the balance, Kevin James.
Yeah, it is, but they are a bit behind. 12 overs, the Blaze had 111. And I keep coming back to those last 11 balls of the innings, where 35 runs are scored. You think you even keep up with the Blaze, and then in the last 2 overs, you've got to hit that. So there is a lot of work to do, but Hampshire so far are hanging in there. So we got, was it Grace Ballinger?
It is indeed.
With her left arm seamers. You're right, she's coming round the wicket.
Yeah, I did think she would do that. Once that swing goes out the ball, she changes the angle.
Big gap on the leg side. There should at least be one on the in front of square every time, but that's floated and that's hammered away. Square on the leg side, just going for 4. Rihanna Southby reaches 50. Well applauded from her Hampshire teammates to our right.
36 balls.
46 balls, did we get?
Yep, 46 balls.
8 balls.
And she's just equalled her highest ever T20 score, which was achieved when she was playing for Surrey.
47 minutes, 8 fours.
98 for 3 here. Ballinger in again, down the hill, round the wicket. Edged, that's going for 4. Down the hill. We see so many of those just running away. Nobody's ever going to get that. And that is now Rihanna Southby's highest ever T20 score.
Well, if there was ever a time to get it, it was today. Chasing 189 on what seems a pretty friendly surface from a batting point of view. A very friendly outfield.
It needs to get friendlier yet from a Hampshire point of view. 102 for 3 as Ballinger's in again. Bowls, and Southby works that away on the leg side. Don't think there'll be any more than one, but I do think they just need to put the fielders under a little bit more pressure. I know it goes out straight to the fielder, but I think sometimes even if you just turn and look as though you're going to go for 2, even though you've got no intentions, it just takes the fielder's eye off the ball a fraction, and then that's where the mistakes are made. This is an outfield made to put fielders under pressure. 103 for 3 as Ballinger's in again. Norgrove works it up to mid-off. She'll have extra cover. She'll have to hurry. Misfield there. There's an example. And that's deflected up towards deepish mid-off. They'll pick up 2. Put the fielders under pressure on the outfield. You are going to pick up some runs doing that.
You've called that there, Kev. Because it was a risky 1 that was turned into a comfortable 2 in the end.
The fielders under pressure, saw the batters running. If it's hit at a reasonable pace, you know, probably 7 or 8 times out of 10 the fielder will pick it up cleanly, but if they don't, you know, there's an extra couple of runs from time to time. There's a nice drive out to deep cover by Abby Norgrove, who moves on to 19. Hampshire on to 106 for 3, and we're in the 13th. Remember, 189 is the victory target. And at the moment, momentum with Hampshire, but they have, as I say, and I keep repeating, still a lot of work to do. They can't let up. Ballinger in again. Bowls. That's worked away by Southby out towards deep square leg. That's picked up cleanly, but again, the batter's kind of just accepting that it's a single. Southby will keep the strike. Hampshire 107 for 3.
She's got great balance, Southby, hasn't she? The mark of a batter in good form for me is when they hit through mid-wicket along the carpet, mid-on through the, along the carpet. She's played some gorgeous shots through the leg side, on the front foot as well as the back foot, with those expansive pulls. It just looks very balanced, very measured.
I mean, she's going to have to get pretty close to 100.
Every time I talk this run chase up, Kev, you just bring it down a gear, don't you? Being very pragmatic about it, and I'm trying to get everyone excited about this game going deep, and there's a run chase. But you're right, there's a long way to go, 7 overs and a lot of runs to get.
That's another 82.
Change of bowling then. We're going to see Georgia Elwes. Sorry, no, we're not. We're going to see Heather Graham again. Driven over the top beautifully, 1, maybe 2 bounces and into those vacant chairs
for
another 4 to Rihanna Southby. She's on to 60 now, and they have just surpassed the 50 partnership as well. The last wicket fell at 61.
30 balls.
Incredible.
That's the area, mid-off up. That was the safe area to hit over the top. Mid-on's back, can't really risk that.
Yeah, just too floaty and full from Graham. She's got a chance to correct this now, and she's gone exactly in the same region, slightly straighter, but over the top, a couple of bounces and 4 more. That wasn't as full, but she got the elevation perfectly right there.
She's got the area right as well. just pulled the front leg out of the way a little bit, cleared the area to hit over the top. She knows exactly what she's doing there. It's just fed a little bit, isn't it, really, that ball? The bowling's just fed that shot.
Needs to be into the thigh pad, doesn't it? A bit of a harder length. Change of field then, long off goes out as Graham's in once again, and this time she hacks across the line and she's bowled. 4-4, then wicket, held a nerve, did Heather Graham. Rihanna Southby throws her head back in frustration, puff of the cheeks, just a hack across the line, hits the middle of middle, Kevan James.
Well, we said just bowl straight. Just bowl straight. But that's a super innings. She'll get a good round of applause. She'll be disappointed with that. But a really good innings, nevertheless. Naomi Ditani walking to the crease, as I said earlier, hasn't really done a lot. But 42 balls for a 64. Top score ever in T20 cricket for Rihanna Southby.
Yeah, and you can't take that away from her, the way she's played the game. And we can see her and hear her in front of us here, kind of ripping the pads off in frustration. But if I'm to be slightly critical for a moment, if Hampshire don't win this game, that 64 gets forgotten about. A batter's got to really take responsibility here, a bit like we saw with Heather Graham and what we saw with Ella Claridge. Someone's got to stand up here for these final 6.5 overs for Hampshire. Now the set batter in Rihanna Southby has gone. Norgrove is fairly well set though, 19 from her 11 deliveries. Hampshire 115 for 4. As Naomi Ditani scratches the mark, takes a step away, just have a look at the field. Got a short fine leg, straight mid-wicket, long on, deep square leg and deep mid-wicket on the leg side as she drives this one square behind backward point, squirts away. Cassidy McCarthy will do the fielding, but they'll come back for 2. So big gap on the offside. The offside field is a short third, an extra cover and a mid-off. They're quite close to each other, mid-off and extra cover, about 15 yards apart. And then we've got this floating cover point boundary rider field. So big gap, square on the offside. As Graham's in and this one's down the leg side, it's going to be tickled away very finely and worked all the way up the hill for 4 runs. So Graham getting the radar wrong to the left-hander now.
It's been quite a big over this, actually, apart from the wicket. But this is what I'm saying about, I mean, this is a good start from Titani, but I'm saying about asking her to do a lot. She's played 7 games in this competition. She has batted in 4 of them, and she's only faced a total of 17 balls. You know, and you're asking her to, you know, go out in a tight situation where still, you know, 60-odd runs are still needed.
They train a lot, though, and they play second 11 cricket, don't they? As she's in again, this one's down the leg side. Great take, or great stop by Sarah Bright, so it's just the wide, signalled by umpire Amy Clark. Yeah, it's not like your day now, Kev, where you play and then have a rest day and go to the pub or go and watch the races or something like that. There's a lot of second 11 cricket though, isn't there, behind the scenes, and there's a second 11 T20 finals day on Monday next week at
so here Hampshire are in it and the Blaze are in it.
Yep. So Heather Graham, change of plan. She's going to change the angle, come round the wicket for this final ball to the left-handed Naomi Ditani. Takes a step away again to just check the field out. The field's exactly the same though. Big gap on the offside. It's full and it's full and straight, and it's driven to that extra cover. I thought for a second the way Kirsty Gordon moved that it had split them, but never in doubt with Catherine Bryce. So dot ball to finish, 14 gone, 123 for 4 are the Hampshire women.
Okay, here's an interesting stat. After 14 overs, the Blaze were 117 for 4.
Getting closer, isn't it, in terms of the scores?
It is.
It's just whether Hampshire have got that explosion that the Blaze demonstrated at the end of their innings.
Yeah. That's right. That's I've said it for ages. That might be the difference come the end of the game. Who have we got here then? Into the attack.
Catherine Bryce.
Catherine Bryce.
She's bowled 2 overs for her 2 wickets and 10 runs.
Bowling to Abby Norgrove. Right arm over. Norgrove swings and bowled. Oh, she just swung across the line. It was a full delivery. And Norgrove's got to go for 19. 2 blows and a couple of overs now for Hampshire. First Rihanna Southby and now Abby Norgrove.
Out for 19, bowled by Catherine Bryce.
Full delivery, just angled in. And Norgrove's trying to play that away on the leg side. 122 for 5.
Yeah, great bowling changes because Catherine Bryce always keeps the stumps in play, bowling those little induckers. Norgrove just couldn't hold the shape there, coming across the straight one. And what? We've lost a run on that scoreboard, Kev, so it's 1-2-2 for 5 now. We've lost a run and they've added a wicket. Although the wicket is
The
correct.
next batter is number 9, Mary Taylor.
Well, Mary Taylor gives it a whack. She can certainly hit a mean ball. But again, a sort of a batter more suited to the last 2 or 3 overs. But certainly capable of finding the boundary when she wants to, and that's what Hampshire need here. They want, yes, they need to push the ball around, keep the scoreboard ticking along, but you will need some healthy smattering of boundaries here as we get well into the 15th over here. Catherine Bryce in. Taylor just pushes it back to the bowler. So Norgrove went for 19 from 12 deliveries. The 15th, yeah, big blow, 14th or 15th over. That's no run there. 22 for 5 then. The actual equation is 67 needed. As Bryce turns. Bowls to Taylor. Taylor works it on the onside. She's off the mark. Run the first one and thinking about the second, but there isn't a second one there. 123 for 5. Yeah, every time that the Blaze get a good over, it really does set Hampshire back massively. And that's all the Braves need to do, really. Just sit back, have one good over, and then the rate explodes. Just taking my last couple of looks at the crooked spire through the trees before the game ends. Feature of the Chesterfield landscape. Tatani works that away on the onside. Runs the first one quickly. Turns. She goes. Oh, she's going to be run out. Oh, by a country mile. And she ran for the second. But I'm afraid Mary Taylor was having none of it, and Tatani was stranded. And she's out. Turned, but didn't even really try to get back. That's how far she was out. And the Hampshire innings here is just disintegrating a little bit, with Tatani run out for 6.
It was looking so interesting, shall we say. This game would go deep. It feels like the Hampshire cause is petering out now. Yeah, 115 for 3, 123 for 6. I mean, that's what happens when the chase is tough over a long period, doesn't it? You're going to get mistakes. I'm not convinced there was 2 ever there, though. I mean, good intent from Tatani, but she sold herself down the river.
Taylor hits it down the ground, a couple of bounces, 3 bounces up to mid-off, not fielded cleanly. Oh, here we only had another run out, as Taylor was turning for 2, but new batter. There's a new batter out there. Oh, it's Megan Sturge, who's making a Hampshire professional debut. What a situation for her to come in. She's in form. She apparently got a half century, and I think everybody played 2 warm-up games, didn't they, at the start of the week for this? She got a half century in one of them. She's been on loan at Kent, which is where she was born earlier in the season. Played a couple of. Played 4 50-over games for Kent, actually. I was averaging 54 in that competition in Tier 2. Played a couple of T20 matches as well.
So, what have we got left in this game? Is there another twist? Plays very much in the ascendancy here. Heather Graham will continue from the lake end. She's full, and it's hoiked across the line into that big pocket, and it'll go for 4 runs. You're not wrong, Kevin. That is some serious muscle from Mary Taylor. She's taken that from outside off stump, but she's found that big pocket between mid-wicket and long gone. Taylor, a couple of hard taps of the bat. She's nice and still, bat in the air, and pushes this one off. Heather Graham into the leg side. They're going to come back for two. It's going to be tight. It's a direct hit, and it's given. It was another one of those contacts where it teased the batters and the fielders should they come back for two. And a great direct hit. Catherine Bryce with the throw. Had some yards to make up there, getting off the boundary in towards the circle. Like I said, Catherine Bryce is everywhere on a cricket field.
Well, it's a great bit of fielding. Poor old Megan Sturge, out for naught without actually facing on a Hampshire professional debut.
Megan Sturge run out for 7.
Well, I suppose in an effort to try and get keep Mary Taylor on strike. But Hampshire have just gone here. 115 for 3, 128 for 7, so that's 4 wickets for 13. Freya Davies, the new batter.
Yeah, it's all turned a bit to custard for the Hampshire women. Heather Graham then to Mary Taylor, digs this one out, bunts it up the ground. Just be the single. There's intent from Taylor to come back for a second, but she's told no from Freya Davies. So she'll face up to the Australian for her first ball. Scratching her guard. Everyone in the circle bar long off on the offside as Graham's in now, right arm over the wicket, and that's on the pads, and it'll be turned round the corner, stopped by Grace Ballinger at short fine leg, but it will sneak through for the single. So Davies off the mark, Taylor back on strike. We need quite a few hefty blows, don't we, from Mary Taylor. Not seen her back much. I remember when she made I think she made a debut up at Northumberland against the Diamonds.
Oh,
one of her first times I seen her, if it wasn't a debut, about 3 years ago. Much younger player then. As Graham's in, dug out again by Taylor. This one just drops at her feet, so it's a dot ball.
That's what bowling it, keep it full.
Yeah.
Don't let the ball in that arc that you can swing through it. It's good bowling. And they used to do it again though.
They've got the field right as well now, haven't they? With the long off out as well. Just bowling it into the pads and on the toes. Well, this one's wide outside off stump, and she's got under that. It's running away behind point. Two fielders in pursuit. It's going to win the battle is the ball. Kirsty Gordon chasing it there along with Georgia Elwes. Just seemed to run on, didn't it?
It's an amazing outfield. It's like playing on concrete. So what's that, 135? So we've got, what, 24 balls left in the game. And Hampshire need 54, if my calculations are right. So it's always been just over 2 a ball, isn't it, throughout the innings, even with that magnificent innings from Rhiannon Southby, 64 from 42 balls. Bit from Nabby Norgrove, 19 from 12, but they've never really been able to get the rate down low. And then sooner or later, this 35 off the last 11 is going to come into play, which I think will prove too much, but they're giving it a go.
This is the over, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got to go harder.
Davies to Glenn to Davies, who swings away, and she's bowled. Straight delivery, she's trying to heave across the line. And Davies goes for a 1, and Hampshire now 136 for 8.
Freya Davies out for 1, bowled by...
Well, somebody needs to stay with Mary Taylor, because I'm not saying Mary Taylor's going to win it, but they have a better chance the more balls that Mary Taylor faces.
Yeah, absolutely. She's shown good intent. I get the intent as well from Freya Davies there, but we know Sarah Glenn bowls wicket to wicket. So going across the line is very risky. against a bowler who hits the stumps a heck of a lot. It just skids on with the arm, doesn't it? That needed to be straight bat over the top of the umpire's head, not aiming it towards deep mid-wicket.
So Daisy Gibb is the new batter, and I can tell you that in all the games she's played in this competition, and she's played in every one, this is the first time she's faced. So now we are getting down to areas where this is totally unfamiliar. So just push it for one. Push it for one. Easy game from here. Glenn bowls. It's a full delivery. Gibb does well, actually. I've seen people play across that and been bowled. Played it nice and straight. Clever bowling from Glenn. Probably look to do the same again. Comes in again and bowls, and yeah, it's a swing away on the leg side by Daisy Gibb. Should only be one though, but it will bring Mary Taylor on strike. 137 for 8.
You can tell it's the first bat of the year as well in this campaign because the pads look brand new as well. With a different shade of yellow to everybody else.
So what can Mary Taylor do here? This is really Hampshire's last hope. There's Glenn bowls. Taylor pulls that away hard on the leg side. Just going for 4, is it not? Oh, there's a player fielder out there. Oh, she's almost kicked it over the rib. Oh, she has. She's kicked it over the rope. She had it, and then it fell out, and then as she fell over, she just caught it with her foot.
Yeah, it was unlucky because the parry just didn't fall. It was a good stop, but the parry just fell into her feet and it knocked it over the boundary.
141 for 8. Mary Taylor's on 16 now as Glenn comes in once more and bowls, and Taylor on the back foot just pushes that to point. Couldn't really do much else with that. Good delivery from Sarah Glenn. So with 141 for 8, Hampshire need 48 here, but time really is running out, I'm afraid, because we are coming towards the end of this 17th over. Glenn just takes a time here. Comes in once more and bowls to Taylor. Taylor can do no more than just push that out quietly on the offside. That's a good end to the over from Sarah Glenn. 141 for 8 with 3 overs left.
Yeah, that run rate is seriously climbing now, and only the 2 wickets left. 48 required from 18. 16 and over. It's in very tall order from here.
Daisy, I mean, the only chance for Hampshire is Daisy Gibb has to get a single off the first ball. But I'm sure the Blaze are aware of that one. What do? Do they say, OK, well, there's probably too many anyway, so if you get a single, you get a single.
Yeah, there's just... Well, it looks like there's only 4 in the circle at the moment. Oh, no, 5 in the circle. Driven up the ground for 1.
That's all right. Yep. 17 balls left and 47 needed. With only 2 wickets in hand.
Brings Taylor on strike. Same 4 stay in the circle. Backward point, cover point. Extra cover on the offside as Gordon's in and driven. And a great effort by Sarah Glenn to come round there and try and catch that extra cover. Bit of a teaser again. They'll come back for 2.
That would have been a great catch. So we've got 16 balls left, 45 needed.
Gordon in once again, left arm round the wicket, floats this up, driven hard by Mary Taylor, straight up the ground. Will they come back for 2? Oh, it's a misfield, and they will come back for 2. I think that's the area to target, you know, that big black tarpaulin there, hitting it as hard and straight up the ground.
Again, it's bobbled. See, it's bobbled in the outfield. Fields is really struggling. 15 balls left, 43 needed.
Gordon's in, lapped and given. Lap sweep attempt from Mary Taylor, misses it, hits the pads. Umpire thought about it for a second before raising the finger, and Hampshire lose their 9th wicket. And just looking at the replay, it looked pretty adjacent, hitting middle and off.
Well, it's a good innings, but she's been striking the ball so well. There she is, she's trying to paddle one.
Yeah, there's no pace on the ball. I don't understand the paddle against spinners.
She's got to trust her instincts there. She hits a really mean ball, especially straight. You just got to trust yourself. I mean, it's easy to say in this because we're not in the heat of the moment. We're not right out there in the middle and looking at the scoreboard thinking, how on earth are we going to score all these runs? But I think at the end of the day, her strong shots are down the ground.
Yeah.
And that's when you need to trust yourself and play as many of those as you can. I mean, where's that going? It's going for one, isn't it? The lack of pace. It's not going for any more than one, that.
And she's not paddling out in front of her either. She's kind of quite cramped with that paddle, so...
I very rarely see her play that, actually.
But that's what pressure creates, doesn't it? Creates bizarre decisions like that. And we've seen a few of them in this innings from Hampshire, some odd shots. And a run out as well.
Yeah. Well, there's another batter out there that hasn't batted in this competition. Rebecca Tyson.
Rebecca Tyson's taken her guard. She is a left-handed bat, so Kirsty Gunn's going to come over the wicket to her. That's hit on the pads. It's going to run fine to short, fine leg, and they'll come through for a leg by. One remaining in this Kirsty Gordon over and her spell. Come back round the wicket to the right-handed Daisy Gibb. 147 for 9. Hampshire women as Gordon's in. Back foot square driven by Daisy Gibb, and he's got through the circle. It's going to be 4 runs to that cover point boundary. So boundary to end the over and end the Gordon spell. She'll finish with 4 overs, 2 for 20. Hampshire move on to 151 for 9. And Daisy Gibb's shown that she can bat.
She can, yeah. Well, I've not seen her bat before. But it'd be nice to think that she'll keep going. But the time is really running out. I mean, this is the Blaze game to lose, isn't it? And it has been for quite a while, to be fair. Yeah. 12 balls left. 151 for 9, which means Hampshire need 38 from 12 deliveries. Well, if Boucher was out there, and maybe Ella McCacken and that, I think we would say, well, this game's not over, but it's a lot to ask the 2 last batters for Hampshire. So we got Catherine Bryce, is it? Oh, bowled, that's it, they're game over. Bex Tyson. Hampshire bowled out for 151, which means the Blaze have won this game by 37 runs. And they have been the best side.
Yeah, they have indeed. Just looking back through the scorecard there, Kev, you know, Rihanna Southby, great innings of 64, but the manner of her dismissal, mowing across a straight one. Elise Perry pushing at one out in front of her that wasn't there to be driven and skying a catch. Freya Kemp, you know, got beaten on the inside edge between bat and pad to the spin of Kirsty Gordon. You know, the manner of Abby Norgrove's dismissal, and Mary Taylor's lack of intent, really trying to sweep spin with a little paddle. They'll look back and think there's 3 or 4 dismissals out of those that have perhaps cost them the game. No one's really gone on beyond Rihanna Southby, but no one supported her. 250 makers for the Blaze versus the 150 maker for Hampshire. The difference, and yeah, we thought it might have been a close run chase, but in the end quite a considerable margin for the Blaze, winning by 37 runs, if I make it right.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, that's a good win. They're back on track, the Blaze, because they lost their first game last time out against Warwickshire. That's the only game they've lost in this tournament, so they are back on the winning trail, and that gives them... I think they don't get a bonus point. I think there's just the 4 points there, which means the Blaze move on to 29 points. I don't think Warwickshire are playing today, so they'll move level on Surrey, with Surrey at the top of the table. And Hampshire now have lost 5 out of their last 6 T20s.
Yeah, which is not heard of during the Vipers/Hampshire era, isn't it? But there's a little bit of way to go. 4th place is probably the target now for for the Hampshire women. I'll just recap the bowling figures from a Blaze point of view. Cassidy McCarthy struggled for a bit of rhythm and line and length today. She was 2 overs, no maidens, 25 and no wickets. Grace Ballinger bowled 2 overs for her 21 runs and no wickets. Catherine Bryce, pick of the bowlers, 3.1 overs, no maidens, 4 for 13. Sarah Glenn, 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 35. Kirsty Gordon, incredibly economical captain's performance, 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 20. And Heather Graham, 3 overs, no maidens, 1 for 35. Highlights in that Hampshire innings: Rihanna Southby top scoring 64 from 42, including 11 fours. A couple of cameos of support with Abby Norgrove, 19 from her 12 and 2 fours. And Mary Taylor, 20 from her 15, including 3 fours. Kevin, thanks for making the trip up. It's been a pleasure to work with you as always.
Pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Thanks, James.
And if you've tuned in on BBC, on the online platforms, thanks for listening in. And if you've been tuning in via the YouTube Blaze channel, thanks for tuning in and watching us. And we'll be back on Sunday when Durham visit Trent Bridge and the cricket continues.